begin transmission. Hello and welcome to After the Ashes. We're on Tabletop Fables. This is the regular crew. If you introduce yourself, Sergeant Cody.
Well, I don't know if it's regular, but I'm here a lot.
We can't get rid of you.
Yeah,
It's like you're
right.
here.
So I'm Cody, also known as DM Cody from Monday and Tuesdays, and tonight I'm playing Sargeant Sam Bolton.
Hi, I'm Ishtar. I'm playing Skye Waters Administration.
Hi, I'm Jacob White, and I'm playing Lucas Jones, Logistics. God, I love playing.
I like that you had a buffering moment there.
They've recently returned from the Burn Village and reported back in that they've made contact with these people. Sandstorm came through while they were there, and they were forced to hide in the lower levels of the former mall that settlement had been built around. Then in the bunker, they got up to their usual shenanigans. They brought back a portion of meat after learning about sheepoponics and other fun things like that. So a lot of people were happy that resources are being brought in from the outside. But yes, night came, or at least the clock said it was late, and they all got a good night's rest, I presume.
Yep.
And morning comes, so you'll get a willpower back. You lose whatever bashing damage you had. If you had any lethal damage, you lose one of them. And in the morning, prime shift comes, unless anyone's doing anything overnight.
Resting.
Yeah, so your sunburn's probably at the point now where it's no longer affecting you.
I still have another lethal as well, by the way.
What was that from?
The dog.
Doggos.
Oh yeah, then dogs.
I had a lot of.
Doggos.
I had half of my health was just lethal from the dogs.
So how badly are you lethaled up at the
Too
moment?
lethal at the moment.
No. So you probably had 2 days off.
Do we get any bonuses being home base for that sort of thing, for the infirmary being there?
No, but when you can do the medicine check basically once.
Okay.
And so you've already had that happen in the Burnside Village. You didn't. So if you went into the infirmary and actually got people to look at your wounds before you went to bed, that might be able to help.
Yeah.
So you're doing that?
I would have found it on back somewhere I trust.
That's smart.
Alright.
I just figure if you make yourself look vulnerable, then it shows your something.
Whatever.
You got healed enough that overnight the rest of the wounds would. It's still sore. You still got like the cuts, but it's properly stitched up and the like. That it looks a bit nasty, but apart from being a bit tender, you're fine.
Chicks dig scars.
Apparently, this baby face. Who knows?
Hopefully Darryl does too.
Daryl's just a scar. So yes, next day comes around. Anyone doing anything apart from?
I will go see Sam Bolton, and I will probably ask for a firearms lesson. We've been spending so much time outside shooting people.
That sounds like a good idea. Follow me, we'll go down to the range.
Okay.
I'll head down to the range, I'll go to inventory and check out a couple of pistols.
Yep. They have essentially blank fire down here, as well as live fire. You are important enough that you can choose.
Blank fire's fine for down here, we don't need to see the impact as long as we're not shooting.
Yeah, so it's
We
just
know he can impact.
that just saves resources essentially. I mean, like, they don't fire nothing. It's just dummy rounds essentially. You'll still see where it hits and so forth.
Yeah.
The bunker's gotten very good at conserving resources where they can. So, you teach him some basic gun maintenance, which you pick up fairly easy, being familiar with machinery, some firearm techniques. Is there anything in particular you'd advise?
Put the safety on.
How much do you know about guns? Ish.
I'm confident. Obviously.
I think he was asking
I'll
me.
put the clip into the revolver.
Then the bullets weave through the air.
Now, make sure you swing and get the curve on them.
I didn't actually do pistol shooting. I will
I
point
figured
out.
you did. I thought I'd just torment you.
He's only teaching rifles and shotguns.
I would probably use my close quarters combat though to show with pistols keeping it close to the body to breach corners without extending it and exposing it.
Alright, so you get taught, live fire, well not live fire, but like how to fight in a more realistic combat situation than pure than pure target shooting. So something a bit more practical. Can you just both roll for firearms? You can add your close combat.
With the extra range low?
Yes. We'll see how much you guys pick. This is just showing off. Let's see what you do.
One
That's one
success.
brainer.
2 successes.
Lucas does reasonable for a logistics kid. Nicole, pretty impressed with what you do.
I mean, he was a logistics kid too. I'll
Was.
point that out.
What?
Back in the day.
He learned.
But now
Years
a
ago.
security man.
Yeah,
Lucas
so
had
yes,
to
you
do with his serious
get the additional dot in
That's
firearms.
career.
Do anything?
sleeping. Until I go to work, I sleep.
Yep. As per usual, you basically get told you don't need to go to work, but if
I
you-
go regardless.
So you go, yeah. Just working.
Yeah.
Um,
Working the general background chitter chatter with the girls.
Yeah.
But while working.
yeah. You get it. You're once again, it's like tell us about the outside, but it's also you brought back meat, which is totally all on you. No one mentions Lucas at all. And
I don't remember.
To be
But,
fair, he was going to ignore it.
yes.
It was me who brought it back.
And your friends are very much save us a portion next time. But yeah, it's fine.
Next time there'll be enough for the whole bunker.
Or
And
we'll be dead.
Or we'll be dead. Either or. Both
No
good
problem then.
options.
your parents both take. I know because you remember in the area. Your dad makes sure he comes back. You pass your desk more than needed.
Aww.
Apart from that, things just going well. Ella does check in on you, especially dog bite, where it's gotten around, assuming you've allowed it to.
Yes.
And she just sort of casually asks you, "Oh, what do you think you're doing beyond this?"
How do you mean, what do you think we're doing beyond this?
Well, I assume you're headed out again soon. Leaving that to your discretion, but I mean, there's a few things we'd like, but ultimately, we do leave it up to you.
I do have a couple of ideas. I mean, we still need to strip Victoria Facility for parts, at the very least for packs.
That would make logistics very happy if you got some parts, and it would make us here in administration very happy if you got more of their packs.
At the very least, there are a lot of things still in their bunker that we can use that the surfaces just wouldn't even understand their importance.
Did you get much of a chance to look in their armory?
No.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the chaos then might have used up everything they had, but it's worth a look. You never know what you'll find.
Yeah. They did have a suit of power armor. It was fused shut, but it might be worth at least looking at and trying to find out why it's fused shut and if we could unfuse it. At the very least, we could use its parts for our power armor.
Did it have power?
It seemed to just be shut off. The user was still inside.
Nice. That could be messy.
It was.
Okay. I believe Bolton, as part of his security training, should at least be able to walk one, if not fighting it.
I wouldn't be sure if we'd be able to walk it all the way back, but at the very least, if we can't get it working, we could at least try to strip it.
True.
It still had a weapon fused to its hand. It might be worth a shot.
That would definitely be interesting. Yes, we would be very interested in that. Well, get Jones to have a look at it, and he can decide what he thinks is best on the spot. We read that you've essentially locked the bunker down, so
Yes,
chance to get
we turned it back on, and I set up passcodes on it so that only ourselves and Daryl can access the most important areas, and it would have a general lock. They were called ferals that were living inside. I didn't want to completely evict them. They were willing to live amongst the gore.
Yes. You may have to. You're responsible for the lives of hundreds, thousands of people here.
Yes.
Um,
But they'll at least now know that someone's coming back. So if they haven't got the message yet, hopefully they will soon.
well, I'll let you use your discretion. We also, Ashton's been bugging me about this one. Wouldn't mind setting up actual official communication with that burned village. They don't really need to know exactly where we are, but that Lincoln, was it?
Yes, Lincoln Power.
He seemed to be pretty already clued in from what you were saying. So
Yeah, he didn't say outright, but he made a lot of assumptions that gave the impression he knew.
perhaps just making a good first impression might be a good way to start at the moment. If you don't feel ready for them to know more about it.
See what I can do.
She sort of just heads off. Someone else is calling out for her attention. Doing much?
I'll go find Lieutenant Walker.
Yep.
And start discussing with him the logistics of setting up this false camp in the car yard.
He really doesn't know. He starts talking about defensive positions and all this stuff, and your just logistics mind is, okay, but we need to hold the water. And he's definitely thinking of it as a fortification rather than a full settlement. But is there anything in particular you discuss, or just?
Well, if he brings that up, I would probably say there's nothing wrong with a fortification. People are coming to us with these weapons, expecting to see something of importance here. It would help if we looked as if we were the part, as well as providing the weapons. Perhaps the tech crews can help us strip the vehicles down there, turn them into walls.
Yes. He gets some paper and he's like, "Are you able to?" I remember I read in some of the reports about fortification. Are you able to just sort of give us a better plan of them, description of what people do use?
I can certainly give it my best shot.
Sure. Intelligence and crafts. I won't penalise you because you're on the walls.
Ooh.
3 successes.
So you do you take into account some of the resources there as well, and you create essentially barricades of empty cars, thinking that logistics will probably pull the useful components out.
So they were just metal shells.
Yes. And there's a fair amount of sheet metal and panels you'll be able to take off and recycle or reuse. You make sure to include a back section as well, so that, it doesn't look like it's just a U shape where it's open to the waterfall, you know. But you also, just as you're just looking, sort of, there's a few bits in the burned village that strike you as a bit odd, but then as you're drawing it, you go, oh, no, that'll be really useful. Covers from above as well. You realise that, they're talking about having people with guns on top of the buildings. So you do include stuff like that as well. Keeping in mind the valley and the outside. He seems pretty pleased and goes to talk to his people.
Yep.
I'm going to write up plans for wind turbines, like I saw at the thing, and then I'm going to go to the armory.
That'll be intelligence and just plans. I'll do science plans for them. Probably a bit complicated.
Plans?
Hmm?
What did you say, science and?
Intelligence and science.
Oh.
A lot of dice.
I see at least one reroll.
Yeah, luckily. 2 successes. I'm not going to send them off though yet.
Alright, well, you think you've come up with some fairly decent blueprints. They're not any kind of exacting form, but they cover all the details you'll need.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go to the armory.
Mm-hmm.
Is Dawn still on duty?
What shift do you go? Prime, second, or third?
Whichever one I'm not working on, not sleeping.
Third.
Alright.
She's not.
Alright, I guess I go and I just hand in the plans, or I send them in,
Yep.
and I make it sound like I came up with the idea, not that I saw them.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, you're the surface.
So this is to the just.
It's to the head of logistics.
Oh, so you go to Winter. Okay, that's different. So you go and find Winter. She's very interested in them. She calls over Scott, who's the head of essentially R&D, the Conversant. He's fascinated by it as a concept. It's sort of one of those, you can see it like as soon as it switches on in his head. Oh, they have wind on the surface.
Oh, air moves up there.
Yeah, and we can pull power from it. Oh, like, we're used to using power to push it. And you can see he gets like a bit of a pencil out and starts making a couple of little changes to it. Nothing like groundbreaking, just neatening it up essentially.
Yeah.
He's like, alright, I hear we might be making a bit of a settlement out the front. I'll get some people on them. How big should they be?
Estimate how big the ones at the Burnside were.
Yep. Do you give any further instructions about like installing them or anything like that?
No, I didn't see how they were specially installed or anything like that when I was there, did I?
No.
No, didn't know.
Alright. So it's for Scott.
Huzzah.
He says we'll get on that.
I would go back to the weaponsmith who created the gun for me, and just ask how they're getting along with manufacturing munitions for it.
Well, that was Scott who said he was Scott Mitchell who said he would go off and do it. But you're familiar with all the weaponsmiths,
Yeah.
so you go down. You find you find some people down there who worked on it as a team, and they have a couple of bullets, but from what Scott said, it was like we'll make a really good weapon and like 2 bullets for it. So you get about 10.
Okay, cool.
They don't want so much ammunition they can just get shot. So it's this giant elephant rifle more than anything else.
So has this weapon been tested?
He has by one of us.
How did it go?
Whew, bit of a kick. It's pretty good. We'll take you to the range if you want.
I'd rather conserve the ammunition for now. How would it compare to, say, a laser rifle or energy weapon?
Decent sized laser rifle will be better than it, but only because of how badly the laser weapons cut. This thing could put a hole in someone.
Excellent. Good work. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Keep manufacturing if you can. We'll try to bring you some materials. What do you need, by the way?
Just this like basic metals, springs, various like copper especially. That's one of the materials that the bunker doesn't a huge amount and it's expended, and brass.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do on the surface. I'll try to bring something back to speed this up.
Thank you. Thank you. Just for the record, that's weapon is +5 damage.
Jesus. That's a good weapon.
Yes. It also has a chance to stun people if you hit them.
Ooh, that's a good weapon.
Just because it's big enough that it's like designed to take out like big game. It's like wombat rats
That is a
or
good
elephants.
weapon. I like that weapon.
I should point out though that
So do
it has a pretty massive initiative penalty.
I imagine I would. I imagine I would.
Yeah. So you're
Look,
probably
it's
gonna
worth it.
you're probably gonna be last in the round if you have it. Yeah.
Set up on a rooftop and deal with it from there.
Yeah. Well, the range is extreme, so
Yeah.
it's basically
Ooh,
you can see something, you can shoot it.
that is a good gun.
That's why you don't have too many bullets.
That's fair. By that.
And because you don't that's the kind of thing that someone can sit on one of the ridges and we'll be able to just pick off half your guards. It's the security officer in you suggests that it might actually be a bit good.
This is going to be worth a lot in trading.
Yeah. So did you do anything else for the rest of the day?
I would probably round everyone up and prepare to get ready to leave again, because there's no good of us stay around here when we've got things to do.
Sure. So you guys have been assigned basically your own little offices up on the top floor.
We get officers!
I'd say you, plural, a office.
Hey, team office!
Yeah!
I'm putting up a picture of my cat.
Putting a picture of
strawberry.
Daryl.
A picture of a strawberry.
But like a little drawn one.
And a charcoal drawing of Daryl on a chaise lounge,
With the
wearing
dog.
nothing but leopard print underwear.
And with the dog like right under his hand.
You made us do this. Hope you're proud.
I did. I forced you to.
You definitely forced.
So it's really just here's a room. We clean the junk out of it, and yeah, it's like three different seats that are just been grabbed from random spots. They're all different. The table's just beaten together metal and sticks. That's a bit.
But it's our office.
Yeah.
We're so important.
Yeah, forget everything else. Forget the firefighting. Forget clearing everything out. Let's just make this an awesome office. Let's just clear this out and we'll repaint the walls.
We'll fill it with surface
I
things.
think you mean paint the walls.
Sorry?
I think you mean paint the walls.
We're going to fill it with surface things. It's going to be the best office in the facility.
So you three are in this office.
I think we need to work out what our next move is. We've contacted one village. We need to set up a proper contact route to them.
Yes.
I think what we need is someone who we're pretty sure is on our side that knows the surface.
That just says Daryl.
Yes, it does.
We are definitely contacting Daryl more.
I'm wondering if perhaps we could convince him to take us to the Hulk.
I think first we should go back to Victoria Square and salvage some pots.
I was thinking the same thing. We need to strip out, at the very least, their packs while we can. The Hulk is going to take a while to get to. It's definitely important, but it's possibly something to do after this one. Our next venture out can be to there.
To strip the bunker entirely could take a long time.
It doesn't
think
have
it's
to be
best we
entirely. We need
set
to
up a
at least
team.
strip packs. We need the parts for our own packs.
Alright. Well, I'm sure Daryl will still be useful. He knows inside and out there now. He's gone through the whole place.
And we could attempt to parley with the Street Kings. At the very least, not be on their bad side.
Well, from what I gathered, there is no parley. Let's stay out of their way.
I agree, we should avoid them.
Unless we have to.
I feel it might be better to have a plan, if in case we do encounter them, to attempt to talk. It's better to offer a hand at first than to immediately turn to violence.
Well, I think you know I do not turn to violence unless necessary.
So we should at least try to talk. They might talk better in the daylight.
Perhaps, perhaps not. Let's try not to find out, but if we do,
If we come to that point, we can try.
yes.
Let them strike the first blow, as it were.
I don't know if I'll let them go that far. But I'll give them
I mean,
a chance.
metaphorically speaking.
I guess we'll find out when we find out.
Yes.
Hopefully we don't.
Okay, stripping parts.
Alright. So you guys got everything together you need. You guys get some more basic foodstuffs, some more goop before you head out. So you leave.
I'll mark off one more of my lethal just before heading out, so I'll just have a normal lethal rather than the sunburn.
Yeah, that sounds fair. So you head back out into the essentially the wasteland. You leave the bunker. There's the cave, the waterfall. You push through that. You now know how to get through safely.
Whee!
You see the area. It is this car park that you'll be turning into a hidden base. To your right, is this 4-story building, the tower on top of it that you've seen mom rats come in and out. That you haven't looked into, and just keep going, following the river as it goes. Whoever's taking point, please make wits and survival.
We could also actually use the building to help with the fake settlement as well.
And -1.
No successes.
Just saying aside, we could use the building to help with the fake settlement.
Well, we'll need to make sure it's safe from there as well. People could set up on the roof.
We can check it when we're on the way back.
Yes, I think that's best. So we're having this discussion and I'm not paying much attention.
Yep.
Perfect.
So you're most of the way outside, out of the gorge. You're into the lower suburbs, and you round a corner, and you run into a group of people. It's very different to how you've seen people. They have a large geck. They have people tied on it. You see there are 2 people who you've seen a couple of times now with burnt hands across. They're tied down. There's a 3rd person, which can you make a wits composure check? And there's a number of people around. They have
I immediately grab my gun.
they have hammers. Some of them have guns, things like that. Looks like they're mainly focused on tying these people up. What did you get?
2 successes.
You recognise the 3rd person as Joel Fleming, one of the security officers, prisoners who died in the collapse. And he's been tied up as well. He looks like he's been gagged and he's quite badly injured across his face. Whereas the other 2 they don't seem visibly injured.
So from what I can see, these are all people that have actively wronged or attacked us, tied to it.
Yeah, but you do see that there are 6 people focused on that, and one of them just, as you turn around the corner, looks and sees you. So you pulled your gun?
I grab my gun and pull it.
Okay, so it's,
The revolver on my side.
you guys doing anything quickly?
I sort of stop, and if he's turning to face me, I'll just stand my ground, not drawing for weapons yet.
Nod politely and make an indication to the others of turning to leave.
Hold on there, and you see a couple of other ones that quickly look over at you. Who do we have here?
I'm the one that was tracking him down.
Oh, he's ours now.
What do you plan to do with him?
Sell him.
So,
Hmm.
you sell people?
Of course.
He's not going to be much good to you. As you can tell, tied up there, obviously it wasn't too much of a struggle.
More of a struggle than these other 2.
Yes, I can tell.
Yeah. Who's watching us take these 2? We saw him. Yeah, what's he worth to you?
Nothing.
Okay. So you've got a gun, you don't, you've got a
Several
gun.
guns.
They start moving off. One of them sort of pulls out a long, basically baton, and just cracks the back of this geck. So this 8-foot long giant lizard. It's big enough to hold these people across its back. And it starts moving along. Another one grabs a bit that's in its mouth, and you can see that it's a bit of blood. And unlike the ones you've seen with the merchants before, this one doesn't look well cared for. It has a number of cuts and scars across it.
Is there anything notable of these people as far as insignias or colours or...
No, they're almost noticeably indistinct. But it does look like they've lived quite harsh lives. Most of them have various scars and the like from, you'd assume, violence. Many have broken teeth, some of them broken noses. Others, bits like arms and stuff, you can see have had flesh wounds. Number of them have just look like heavy drug users and the like as well. So
Are drugs something we have in the bunker? Is that something we'd recognise as that?
there's always intoxicants.
Okay.
No matter whether or not there's their quality, there are stills people made. there's always someone who will go, it's paint thinner, I need an escape.
Yeah, okay.
The animal rights activist in me is so sad for seeing that poor Gek.
Yeah.
But this is not a battle we should fight yet.
So they start headed off north. Direction you guys want to go. They're not moving too quick. You can see as they're leaving, a couple of them are like pointing to each other and pointing back at you guys. There seems to be a discussion going on.
I'm going to turn and move north. How many of them are there?
6.
6? Okay.
They look like they know how to fight.
I think it might be a wise idea if we sidestepped for a while.
No. Weakness is not what we want to show right now. I'll take point and head straight north past them.
So you guys are overtaking them?
If they're going slowly.
Yeah, the animals are probably under a bit too much strain. It's not as big as the ones you've seen with the merchants. And clearly not as well looked after, so it's not moving too quick.
I'm just going to walk past quickly, but making sure my weapons are visible, but not immediately threatening, and making sure my sleeves are rolled up so I can see the broken knuckles from when I learned my close quarter combat fighting.
Yeah. How are you two?
I'm walking past with my hand on my gun.
I walk past like the pretty little thing I am.
Yoo-hoo!
Yeah.
You want them not to attack us?
Yeah, they'll attack you and I'll run. Or I'll be kidnapped and kept for their own pleasure. Either way, this is a terrible idea.
Cool. Can you all make wits composure -2?
Oh boy!
Two successes.
0.
2 successes.
You hear a couple of them mumble something as you walk past. You two both hear one of them ask the other one, where did they come from? They keep going, and they watch you go past.
I move up to Sam. It appears they may search for the bunker. Should we get rid of them?
No. I don't think it's worth their time to turn around.
Okay.
As we move forward, we'll keep an eye until they're out of sight.
Alright.
So you get ahead of them, but sort of keep checking? Is that what?
Not keep checking, but just sort of when I feel like they're a fair way behind, I'll sort of pretend to check something in the rubble or something and glance down, see where they're at to make sure they haven't turned around.
Yeah.
Chew up.
Can you make a manipulation subterfuge?
Ooh.
It's not really my skill set, but I will try.
Really is not.
Yeah,
I've got
I'm the
zero
subterfuge
subterfuge.
one.
I'm totally just obviously checking every now and again.
Well then.
Is that a crit? Is that off chance dice? Yeah. You still got to reroll.
Yeah, you get to re-roll it, because you can get exploiting successes with the chance die.
Okay. I thought it was just you failed or succeeded.
No.
Clearly, the one skill you have as a security officer in manipulation is looking like, oh, what's that over there? Yep, eventually you reach the roundabouts. They seem to be basically going the same direction as you, which is the only real exit from this area.
I guess we just keep going.
Yeah.
Do you keep pace with them still?
Would it be suspiciously slow if we were?
You are going at a slow walking pace. Like, yeah. It's like, as a security officer, these guys are clearly up to some sort of no good, and you're keeping pace with them when most people would probably try to get past them and just go. That's not what someone would normally do.
I guess we'll pick up our pace a little, but not sort of rush off.
Mm-hmm. So you start headed west towards the CBD, and that's where it's the hill down, so you can go a fair distance and still keep a bit of an eye on them.
Yeah. Okay. Are we out of visual range for what we're doing with our hands at
Yes.
the moment? Okay, I'll pull up the radio contact base.
Yep.
Just tell them what we've seen and tell them might be worth having some scouts to make sure they're not around.
They say they'll. Basically, we'll send some scouts out. We think we can hide some people behind the waterfall. Give a bit of an eye out in the area.
Do so for a little while, then bring them back in safely.
Will do.
You alright, Waters?
I'm fine. I'm just really concerned. They sell people.
Yes, I've heard of it. They use them for labour.
People aren't a commodity.
Oh, to some they are.
I mean, people can be productive, yes, but they're not a commodity. That's not right.
Well,
The surface is strange.
it's not our problem for now. We need to
Right.
worry about our people first.
Right. I have to head back to the facility, to their facility.
So, I have a map now, and the link will be going up shortly. So they don't follow you for too long. Before they reach the area that is the burned village's sort of outermost areas, they head south, sort of skirting that.
Interesting to take note of that they skirt past the village. Or it could mean nothing. Either way.
Well, we're here, we could always ask. We do have to do something about this. Make some sort of alliance.
Yes.
There's no point in walking past if we can do that now.
Suppose that's true. We should speak directly to Lincoln then.
Yes, always best to go to the top.
Alright, we'll go towards the burnt village.
You're not too far from there. It's not an issue. You get there. Looking closer now, you see that as you get closer, that some of the buildings, they are boarded off. In the higher open areas, you see the sheep being in these sort of vertical farms, the sheepoponics. On top of the buildings, very well camouflaged. Occasionally, you'll just see the glint of a piece of metal or a bit of glass as the shepherds watch over the flock.
I mean, to be fair, I did ask a lot of questions about the sheep.
And now you know what you're looking for. It's like, oh yeah.
That's actually really terrifying. Anyway, let's go inside. I assume we reach the gates and it's like, hey there, we've come to trade.
Yeah, they recognise you guys. Still, what's his name? James on the top. He seems to be like the head of the watch. You're like, we're here to trade. He's like, yeah, sure, head in. You go in and there's the busy sort of marketplace at the front. You see the much better cared for gecks and other animals under what was once a multi-storey car park. And yeah, you see the big glass multi-storey shopping centre that is now the burned village.
I can go have a look for Lincoln if you'll wait out here, because I'm going to assume that, like last time, he's inside.
Yes, I imagine he is.
If you want to wait out here so that you don't have to put it down, I'm going to assume that's our biggest trading option for the moment, to establish connections.
Potentially.
At least a demonstration of what we can provide.
Reach into my bag and pull out one of the shells. Give it to you. Show him this. Tell him we manufacture it. Tell him we're looking to make alliances.
Very well. And I'll head inside.
So as you're heading inside, you hear a vroom noise and something comes right at your head.
I'd like to dodge!
You duck out the way, and this thing about that large with 4 little propellers on it goes.
What was that?
Then you hear, sorry. And you see that weird guy who had the cube the other day. He's now got like something in his hands. He's like going like that, and he's watching the thing as it sort of buzzes around everyone and annoys them.
What the blazes is that?
A quad something. I can't remember what the name was. Hang on. He presses a button, comes back and lands in front of him.
How? The blazes does that work?
Oh. Try to work it out. Sorry, I didn't mean to nearly hit you.
Come on, boys, stay focused.
I'm trying to work it out.
Do be careful, that could have taken my head off.
Probably not.
It has blades. Could have taken my head off.
He's like, ting, ting, ting. Yeah, maybe.
If it's going at a fast enough speed, it could have. Or at least very badly injured me.
Sorry. Have this. And he holds up like a little piece of scrap metal. No? Okay. He looks like really guilty.
I was waiting to see if one of the other two were going to take it.
I already left.
Ah.
Where did you go?
God
I
damn
went to
it.
find someone else for some sort of barbecue output thing. We'll meet.
He's addicted to meat now. Don't take that out of context.
So while you're having that discussion, there is, it's probably about, it's getting close to the zenith of the sun, and you see that there is a place starting to set up, like, just very small, like, sashliks of lamb and some other products that are getting grilled.
I go over and I pull out some of the scrap that I kept from last time.
Yep, some of the tools and the like.
Yep, and I try and trade it for some meat.
Yeah, you trade, you get like 2 sticks and you trade like a little wrench for it.
I take my meat and I eat it.
It's straight off the barbecue, it's like quite hot, but it's delicious.
While that's happening, I'm going to sort of wander over and have a bit of a look and see if they've got any sort of vegetables or fruits or anything grown that they cook up.
They do, yes. Or there's food here. Yeah, there's a lot of different, like, just greenery and the like. Trying to think what would work best in that climate. Potato. What are
Always
potatoes?
have potatoes.
There are ground apples and
Pomme de terre.
yes, there's like potatoes. There's a lot of variety. It's surprising how much there is.
I'll approach someone that probably looks similar to me, and maybe security, or maybe someone that just looks like they're a hard worker.
Yep.
So I'd be happy to have
like
a
you.
frank conversation.
Yep.
Just sort of.
I thought it would be a Daryl conversation, not a Frank conversation.
Well, if it was a Daryl, it would be
Very
too
frank.
exciting.
Yeah. So you walk up, and you see like a guy who's got the like big greengrocer sort of style, thing. Clearly used to like
big
lugging stuff.
apron.
Yeah. Like it looks like really ratty, but you're still like there, and it's got like big smears of like various food products across it. And he's like, pound upon it. He's trying to like essentially flog his wares.
Okay.
Best spuds this side of the city, Celery, get your celery here. Actually, that's really intensive.
Do you have any dragon fruit?
Got some durians. Got some satsumas.
Do you sell ready to plant?
Ready to plant? No, most of what we have is ready to eat.
Well, I was looking to grow some myself, where would I go?
Some seeds you're looking for. I do carry some of them. What kinds are you looking for?
Something that can grow with low light, fairly hardy.
Low light, hardy. Low light, hardy.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, seeds of mushrooms.
Mushrooms do have seeds.
Really?
Spores.
Yeah, the spores. Spores is technically.
That's some mushroom spores.
I've heard sweet potatoes, I believe they're called. Anything like that?
He basically pulls out some seeds. Yes.
And what would you want for them?
What do you have to trade?
I have some food rations. I have some cloths. I have some metal.
Tell me about
packs.
these cloths and the rations.
I'll sort of pull out the rations, which I'm assuming are unmarked.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't.
Yeah, there was the point. They made a specific point not to only give you unmarked things.
Yeah. We make these in my settlement here. Have one for free. See if you like it. Not as good as fresh, but if you're on the travel, if you need to take something with you,
Yeah. I could sell it as trial rations and something to beef up a otherwise short dinner. Alright. You work out a trade.
seeds away in my bag. Well, thank you. Hopefully see you again. We're looking at setting up a trade route for my settlement.
Okay, well, from here I'm headed up north, so it's a bit of a trek once the next trade caravan goes that way, but...
Not all the way to the Hulk?
No, eventually, but going back up to the Queendom, so...
Stop off in between.
Well, yeah, I'm from there, so... But I'll do another route sometime. Probably get to the Hulk about sometime in the next fortnight.
Well, we plan to set up a number of contacts. So I might even see you at your home.
We do make a lot of... do you have a lot of good crops, so...
Excellent. Always looking.
Well, you're always welcome to come up there.
Sam Bolton.
Yes, Ford.
Good to meet you, Ford, and I'll see you around.
See you around. So you head inside?
Since I'm alone, I will actually take that scrap metal. Stick it in the pack.
After you put it away, don't they?
Yeah.
We'll snatch it.
Just like,
It's just like, it's like a little square and there's like a nut and bolt through it for some reason. It's like he clearly just picked up and, okay. And then he's just like, here you go.
good enough.
But yeah, you
I'm
walk.
sure Lucas can do something with it. Whenever I find him again.
So,
I don't think useful, but
so you head inside the Burn Village. You hunt around for Lincoln.
Yes.
You eventually find him. He's looks like he's with Jet, and they're looking over some electrical stuff you saw Lucas working on the other day.
Politely stand and wait until they are at least finished the conversation. Or it's come to a lull where I can just slide myself in.
Sure.
But listen to what's going on, even though I'm probably not going to understand much.
You listening surreptitiously or?
Just softly. Like, not obviously intruding, but close enough that I would still hear when they notice.
Yeah. Roll me wits and empathy.
Ooh.
-3.
Nope.
You're a specialist in body language, aren't you?
Yes, actually.
So add an extra one.
Alright.
No.
All my dice rolled a 2 for that. I'm
Whatever.
offended.
So you hear them talking, and Lincoln sort of says to Jet, "Oh yes, that laddie did a good job, and I might have to get him back to sort out some other things." And he's like, Jet's like, "Yeah, that'd be good." And they talk for a while. And then Lincoln turns around and he's like, "Oh, Skye, good to see you again."
Lincoln, I didn't want to intrude, which is why I thought it would be best to wait on the side.
Okay, and he gestures to the guard and you get let through. Because there's like the chain link fence that's before there, so...
That's honestly fair.
When you see that there's a pile of batteries, there's a couple of hyper batteries and sort of what appears to be some sort of cradle, and there's 3 of them, there's 3 green lights above them. There's the panel Lucas worked on, his stuff.
Looks like things are going well. Guess Lucas was a good help then.
He was. He was. Interesting chap to deal with, but
Yeah, he's like that.
yeah.
You get used to it, but he gets like that. Yeah.
It's
I
good.
saw that car battery tonight.
You have it in your room.
Yeah, it's still in your room back at the bunker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know those corridors get cleaned, right? Anyway.
I have a lot of solid shit in my room. I have a do not disturb sign permanently on my door.
You know what?
And on your back.
Yeah.
Slide into your clothes.
I just tied it on the face. Zana, it's been good. We've been able to draw more power from the system. So we've been able to do it with some certainty. Been charging up our stores.
Oh, good. Anyway, I came because I wanted to more strongly establish trading ties with you. As a show of goodwill, we do have an example of what we can offer. This is part of the whole, if you will, and I bring out the bullet.
Ah, yes. I guess this fits in with that monstrosity that was on Bolton's back.
Yes.
What kind of weapon is it? Beyond the obvious.
I don't actually know. I'm gonna be honest, weapons aren't my strong suit, but it's very large, and I would guess that it could fire a very long way.
Well, that could come in handy.
It would be very good for keeping your farm safe, at the very least, or putting up on your border walls.
Yes, we've actually got some problems to do with that at the moment. But might be able to test it out.
Worth a shot. I believe we have 10 units of these bullets with us. I mean, don't spend them all in one place, obviously.
We try not to with ammo in general. But, that'd be good. We would like someone to look at our long-range transmitter, if only to tell us what the problem is. I mean, beyond the fact it has just like four bullet holes in it.
I'm sure Lucas could probably have a good look at that. So you do actually have a transmitter here, it just needs to be working again.
Yes, we try to keep the trade settlements in communication. And the raiders don't like it, so every now and then they'll try to take our transmitters down.
Ah, I see. But that would mean you would have communications that could reach our settlement. That's good. That means we'll be able to establish proper communications when we're not here.
You walked out of here 2 days ago and you've walked back. Yes. The long-range transmitter can reach a very long way.
Oh, good.
I think we once spoke to a settlement that claimed to be about 200 kilometres away. That's a long way away.
Okay. I don't know what a kilometre is, sorry.
Okay, a long way away.
Fair enough.
So what brings you here?
Oh, well,
Or beyond this?
Well, we wanted to make sure that we could establish proper trade routes before we head back off on our way. This was just a pit stop, and we thought it might be a better option to make a pit stop after seeing the... I'm not sure what the proper term for them would be. The people sellers. They had a large gek with people strapped to it, and it didn't look like a healthy gek. They said they sold people. I don't know what the proper term for them would be.
Slavers.
Slavers.
I think you might have gotten lucky. If you gave them a chance, they would have tried to take you as well.
Oh, great. That's peachy.
So, which way did they head? Or where were they?
Well, we encountered them while we were on our way towards here, and then they went that way when we went that way.
Yes. I think, yes, I mentioned to you that there's a place to the south of here that's dangerous.
Yes.
It's on a hill. Yes. That is them.
Is that their people or just who they were selling to?
That's where they live.
Oh, okay. Not a great place.
No.
Good to know.
No. Yeah, typically they sell to raiders or anyone who doesn't really want to do the work. We believe there are some settlements further south that we don't really deal with who are a bit more open about slavery. But, yeah.
It's a terrifying concept.
Yes, so we're fairly safe here. We're just big enough that they leave us alone. But they look for their chances. They pick us off occasionally.
We've set up a patrol by our settlement just in case, because they were far too close. Since we encountered them on the way, too close.
You see, he's sort of like, you can just tell he's trying to work out where you're from.
He's trying to engineer it.
Beautiful mind.
Processing.
Buffering.
But yes, that'd be good. Wouldn't mind being on friendly terms with you guys. I gather you'll be coming through here a bit.
Ideally, yes. I mean, we don't want to impose, but we do want to have nice, open communication.
Just don't mess with our food and don't cause us problems. And
Wouldn't dream of it.
we don't care who takes the roads, as long as you're not here with ill intent.
Sounds perfect. We don't have an ill intention in our bones.
We should all have at least a few, just in case.
I leave that to the boys.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're interested in trading for skills and technology, things we don't have. We don't really know what else you have, but we're happy to trade food. Weapons we are very interested in that, especially long-range weapons, things with good scopes on them.
Yes, I believe we're currently developing scopes at the moment.
Okay. That's... okay.
Again, processing, trying to figure out where they wouldn't need scopes.
No, it's more like... Your impression you get was more like, oh, they just developed them. It's like, that's just an odd concept. Just, we need that, let's work out how to make it, let's make it. Even though you don't have any resources, you do have,
Ingenuity.
Ingenuity. You have the knowledge banks of, before the war.
So it's just like, have a problem, figure out how to solve it.
Cry out in the lack of resources. Okay, so... we'll have to work out exactly what we can try, like trade rates and the like, but I don't think that's a today conversation.
Probably not, but I know definitely setting up some way of teaching us how to farm the sheep, farm anything else that we could farm as well. That would be a great benefit. That's obviously going to take a lot more than a single firearm, though.
True. As I was saying last time,
Established trade.
we're happy to help, but it would be expensive. We would be creating a competitor in that regards.
I personally don't foresee us exactly wanting to sell them off. We're good enough to know how to get by if we have enough resources to do so. It's just about making sure we have enough of those resources. We're very self-sufficient, but we've come to the crux point, which is why we're out here looking for resources. You can probably imagine.
We've heard before.
Sure you can imagine.
Yes, with the there's more than one settlement that's tried to stay isolated for too long.
Yeah.
Something always breaks.
Eventually things just stop being reusable.
Not very well. He starts leading you back out. Eventually, you head back out to where these guys are.
I'm joining my food.
I'm waiting patiently now.
Are you waiting with Sam?
I guess.
That'll make it easier.
So,
Do you need to chew so loudly?
It's how you get the taste.
Waters, thank God you're back.
Of course I am.
Link.
Sam, this is Lincoln.
Good to meet you.
Sam.
You too.
Yeah, Sam Bolton.
And you already know Lucas.
Yep. Thought you might have, if I can look at the weapon.
Slowly unsling it. Turn it over.
What's it look like? Starts it up.
Ammunition's limited at the moment, but if you would like to test it, I'm happy for you to. It packs a punch.
I would. Some raiders have taken one of our water farms. Wouldn't mind giving this a go from the next building over. Sure on their way.
Perhaps will be enough to scare them off, if nothing else.
Lead the way. Give a practical demonstration.
I like the sound of that. He has his rifle over his shoulder. He starts heading off and he just like grabs two of the guards and
I assume we follow.
Yeah. He basically invites you all. He travels a couple of blocks to the south and then he sort of ducks in through some side passageways between these 10-15 story tall buildings. Eventually he reaches just what appears to be a fairly random building to you, and one of the guards goes up, pulls out a key, unlocks a boarded up door, and you'll head inside. And you're hit with the stench of sheep. You don't hear sheep.
Smells the musty in here.
Yeah. Fertilizer as well. But it's dark inside, and you see that it smells, like sheep have been here for quite some. And he starts leading you upstairs. You see that you've been in buildings before. There's normally quite a lot of plants inside. This one doesn't.
It's already had the sheep through it.
Yep. And
It's been sheep upon it.
It's never going to die now. It's always sheepoponics.
he heads up to the floor before the top, and you see that there's like a section of the wall was dropped down. He's like, alright, low and quiet now.
What's the recoil on it?
Sure. He walks up to the near the edge. He holds out his hand. One of the guards hands over something you don't really recognise. But he holds up like these 2 cylinders to his eyes. Looks out for a while.
Scribbles notes on what he's doing.
Yeah, it's... he hands it back and he lays down with it and props it up. You see he's just tracking on the next building. You're trying to work out what he's aiming at. You have to do a check.
Can I get the binoculars?
If you think to ask for them, yeah.
Yes, I asked to use them.
They hand them over to you.
I picked them up and I looked at them.
Your eyes sort of go a bit blurry and you get 2 weird circles and black around, and then you sort of start playing with your eyes and they line up. And it's like a look closer thing.
I immediately just try and work out how it works.
Without taking it apart.
Yep.
Instant science. I mean, it's probably going to be pretty easy for you to actually work it out.
Successes.
Yeah, so you're looking, there's like glass at each end. And you've worked near microscopes before and you've seen reflections on glass and you're like, okay, this must be something to do with that.
Yeah, I hand it back and I immediately start taking notes.
Looks at Lucas's notes, just like.
But did you look at the other building?
I guess.
You would have seen that there was like a series of large sections of leather up, and they're all sort of focused into a central point where there was what sort of
Oh, a water catchment area.
yeah, well, it looked like a large metal container underneath it.
I study that as well before
Yeah, it's essentially a large water catchment area. But you did see there was a couple of people just lounging around the bottom of it.
take notes on that as well.
Water catchment and purification. Because you can purify water using that as well. Anyway.
I spent way too much time looking at water for purifications and I've forgotten it all.
I have not.
How to purify radiation from water. A gets up the rain. Yeah, he. I actually shoot for him. That's.
That's so many dice.
And now for the penalties for range.
Oh yeah, there we go. Does he add willpower?
Actually, I better. Dex, firearms, long range specialty. He's gonna have to because he's got win penalties as well. Yeah. He's gonna show off in front of you guys.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
That dice is gonna roll. No, but there it is. Show off, show off, show off.
Go, Lincoln, go.
Yeah. You guys never want to be shot with this gun.
Show off, show off.
You just hear this almighty boom noise, and his shoulder goes even with it braced. And he's a pretty muscly dude into leather armor, and it still kicks his shoulder right back.
Oh, that'd be a military grade one. Those hurt.
But without the technology.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have like the gas come back like recoil adjuster or anything like that.
Yeah, that'd be the straight one. Ooh, that really
Did he
hurts.
slide along the ground a little bit?
If he wasn't so big, yeah, probably.
If Skye tried to do it, she'd go backwards.
You end up in the next building.
So you guys can't super clear see what he's doing, where he's aiming beyond like there's an open area. But you start hearing screams from over there. Panicked screams. And you just hear one of the other guys goes, you got him. And they're running.
Sounds like it.
And he hands over the binoculars and looks like, ugh. It's a pack. Yeah, not a bad gun. Sort of pulls the big slided bolt to one side and kicks the ammo out. Hands it to you empty.
Step back over.
Yeah, so he hands the binoculars back. The guy like holds over to you. Yeah, you just see one of the back walls pasted in blood.
I hand him back.
I do that. I do guessing things. And it's just like,
So Lincoln, take it and hand it back to him. I had my people develop this in a matter of days from nothing.
Was good. Yeah.
I'm sure that can be worked on.
Perhaps we can make some arrangement. Obviously, you seem like a good type. I'm happy to keep you armed and safe.
Appreciate it. Proper scope on that thing would go a long way. I had to eyeball it.
We're looking at building them, once again, from nothing.
Yeah, Skye was saying. She was selling it quite well. Yeah, if you bring us some of them, if you're very happy.
I'll tell you what.
And you're watching as like one of the guards is like watching down the building. The people are running away.
I'll sling it and hand it to him.
Oh, thank you.
Take out a couple of. I don't know. If you can provide us with some basics, we can start manufacturing much faster.
What do you need?
Copper, springs, brass, mainly.
Not things we primarily have. We've cleared out most of the scrap in this area. I will see what stores we have. Yes.
You can provide it, I'll keep working on it.
We might not have too much right now, but I could definitely get more in. Room in some of the trading lanes here, so.
That is mainly for the ammunition, so we don't need a lot to go a fair way.
Very well. He points to the foothills as they travel to the south, so following Portrush Road to the end. Yes, just up there is where the slavers are. I was telling you about Skye.
Right.
He sort of gestures and the guy hands over
The people traders.
the binoculars. And you see just in the very distance the hill as it goes up on the M1, and there looks just essentially it looks like the quickest way I can describe it is like an orc fortress from 40k. It's like very large metal paneling all around, big spikes out, more than intimidate. You can't. There's other things there, but you're just too far away even with the binoculars.
Takes one hand down and starts jotting notes in the shorthand.
And you notice that on the other side of that valley, there's a much smaller mirrored image.
Continues jotting notes. Not even looking, but it's like perfectly neat and in lines.
Do you ever deal with them?
Not by choice. They sometimes try to take out people. Sometimes they succeed. Most of the people in here know.
Camp?
They try to catch us as we're working, but most of the people know, and they know too, that if you run onto to where the shepherds are watching. So it seems a bit counterintuitive to a lot of people, which like keeps us safe, but so you like gestures down to one of the more like Portrush Road. So if you run down the middle there, most people avoid it because it's open space, but the shepherds can see, and if someone's chasing you, they can see them even better.
Just like looking over the entire area while I have them.
Perhaps with.
And you do
Watsons?
see a lot of these shepherds as referred to, and they're in camos and the like, and
Notes.
they're not quite ghillie suits or anything like that, but they're just wearing an approximation of city camo.
And I assume I'm doing my shorthand cipher, so it's like random scratches and squiggles, but I make perfect sense of it. And no one can read it.
Perhaps with more weapons like those, you can keep it safer around the city.
We'd hope so. We'd hope so. If we could watch more area with less effort, well, with the same number of people, then we could definitely try to expand the amount of food we make.
And what would you suggest we do if we run into them again?
Don't let them spot you. Run if you have to. Kill them. None will lose sleep. If you ever see any of our people caught by them, let's just say we'd appreciate it if you freed them. But that might be risking your life. But we would consider it that you'd risk your life for our people, and
I understand.
we would not forget.
More notes.
Our settlement was far on the hills. We've moved closer to try and establish trade.
Nice.
We are currently building an encampment. When we have, we'll send a message. And if you wish, you can send scouts to visit.
We need Lucas to fix their transmitter. I volunteered
Oh.
you.
Sounds like you've got work to do, Lucas.
It also has bullet holes.
Will this be paid work?
This is the work we are here to do.
So you're
Still
going to fix
require
it?
payment. But I'm not weapon free.
But I think that might be between you and your team.
Lucas, this is establishing trade routes. You're fixing it.
Perhaps you could supply me a meal while I work.
That would be accepted.
Because one bit of work now and this one meal means a lot more meals in the future.
Those are not meals now. They are worthless.
Have you heard of delayed gratification?
Right, let's cut to the chase. Lucas, go fix it.
Okay.
Can you make a manipulation subterfuge? And it's gonna be at -4. Is that a crit fail?
Helps at all, I'm not trying to subterfuge anything.
Well, about saying you're moving forward from further out and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Oh no.
By like 10 metres.
I didn't specify.
Yeah, that's why you have to roll for it. So very well. I'll take you back and you can talk to Jed about that. So you guys all head back. You see one of the security peels off and just does a sweep of the other building. So you get led up to the top of the mall. It's you get taken to the floor below where the wind generators are. Do you guys go with?
Yeah.
Sure.
So you're not going into that glass area of the settlement or the floor below. You're going to the building next to it, which is quite tall. And they don't seem to have the same restriction on weapons here, especially not when you're with Lincoln. So,
Neat.
so you head up and you go into this room and you see like a computer terminal. Just make a wits science just to get a rough idea of what the hell's going on.
That's gone forever now.
So that's 3 times. It's only been right to none so far.
I'm actually worried the chair's gonna break if you do that.
That's 1.
Yeah, this thing has 4 bullet holes in it and a couple more holes around it. They just sort of like there. And you start looking at it and from what you can tell, just for a brief look, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of parts. But it looks like, as far as you can tell,
He could salvage it?
yeah, with you could probably salvage some good parts from it if you just want to leave it broken. But yeah, there's everything you think you would need for a long-range transmitter. You're not particularly familiar with the technology either, but
Do they have the extra parts I need to fix it here?
there doesn't seem to be any parts around. So they called Jed up, and assuming you ask him, he's, no, if it was just a part job, I'd be able to do it myself. Sorry.
So I can't. I turn to Lincoln. This is unfixable. You don't have the parts prior to this.
Oh well.
So we're going to go get the parts to fix it.
It would be much easier if there was one of these broken somewhere. Is there anywhere you know of? Maybe abandoned, maybe damaged.
Damage. There is a place. Potentially. I remember someone saying they saw one, but it was just inside the Street King's territory.
These Street Kings, we haven't had dealings with them yet.
Yeah.
Can they be reasoned with?
They don't seem uncontrolled, and they don't seem like they'll come out and just randomly attack you, although they do very rarely, just for fun it seems to be. But that seems to be more when they're drinking at night. During the day, they seem to just patrol their area. And
Do they trade?
we've never got into a good conversation with them. We've talked to them. They seem, if you stay just outside the territory, they seem amicable to a conversation. But seems to be across that line. I don't know. I don't know why they're quite so territorial.
Something to protect.
Well, possibly. But I'll say this: they're not that interested in hunting around for various bits of technology or scrap. So that's why we think there might be something there.
Scribbles notes.
Perhaps another facility, like the one that was ransacked.
I don't know of any others. Transmitters like this one tend to be on top of buildings.
Hmm.
There's a telecommunications building going by the symbology on it, and there's a couple of areas on top.
Perhaps we could get in and out unseen.
Perhaps you can.
Well, we'll go take a look. We'll see what we can do.
That'll be good. We'll leave it there. And we'll go to break, so we'll see you in 10-15
I have
minutes.
an idea.
Let's see how I get us all killed.
Yes. And unlike Matthew Mercer, I can't keep a straight face. That wasn't even like rude, it was just stupid. Hello.
To be fair, Cody made you laugh.
Yeah.
Handsome and funny, I know.
Yeah, what about you? So you guys are in Burn Village. You are planning on looking at this building. They tell you it is Dragon Fruit Communication, and it's about 2 blocks back and 2 blocks back. You'll notice it because it has a giant, faded but still slightly purple dragon fruit.
Pink.
Pinkish purple. A guy's describing the colour, who knows? And
That sounds about
He
right.
shortly after tells us he's colourblind.
yeah, grey.
It's like this light shade of probably like 30% grey.
Symbol on it. But yeah, it says like it gives you slightly better description, location than that.
How far into their territory is it?
Well, 20 minutes, reasonable pace walk,
Oh,
maybe a bit less, 15.
further in than I was hoping.
The,
How many are there?
we don't really know.
Are we likely to walk across them if we're just walking through?
They seem to just like travelling around in their area a fair bit. They keep the roads pretty clear as well. They seem to have spent a lot of time doing that, so they can move around pretty quick.
So can we, I suppose.
They've got a few leaders that have power armor, so be very careful of them.
Perhaps we should try to strike a conversation first.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Well, you do it however you feel suits your skills. Good luck, and we'll really appreciate this if you do this. Do you just want to make a craft repair roll just to actually work out what you need?
Can I use my skill specialty troubleshooting for investigation?
This sounds like troubleshooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 1 dice.
Yeah.
Two successes.
Okay. So you get a fairly decent sized list of parts.
Yeah.
You can't really see any immediate workarounds. You figure it's probably going to take a lot of effort to carry it all back in one hit. You'll be pretty weighed down when you do.
Good thing you have another 2 people in the party.
I say you as in-
From carrying around a door for
Well,
like
you-
3 days.
Yeah. So you guys headed to the Street King's territory.
I guess so. Gonna attempt to parlay.
It's pretty easy. You travel the rest of the area around Burn Village, and you do so safely, and you reach the parklands, where you see like the remainders of the crops from the other facility. You do see that there's the car park there if you wanted to head over to where the entrance is, but yeah, and then you see the 15-20 story buildings that are the edge of the CBD itself, which is 2 kilometres squared, the Adelaide CBD, surrounded by a ring of parklands. Yes, and of course in the dead centre is that giant pristine building with the weird patterns over it.
Yeah.
Last time we were here, there were a group of the Street Kings down that way. That might be a good idea to check again.
If they were staying there, that's probably their territory. We should be careful.
Yes, but if we're going to attempt to parlay with them.
We'll need to meet them, but apparently on not their territory.
From the records you got from the previous bunker, it was very clear that they don't consider the parklands their territory. It's just the roads at the end of the parkland that start in CBD.
So perhaps we walk to the edge and try to find
Wait.
someone.
Just wait by the edge so it's not directly on there but at the border.
Yes. Alright. That's what we've got.
Worth a shot.
So you head to what?
To the edge of the tree line.
Edge of the tree line. You don't see any straight away. You wait.
I'm hiding.
That's fair.
Dex and stealth.
I am in the open.
You too?
Yes.
One success.
Yeah, you're behind a tree. It's not super brilliant hiding, but
Do it a pinch.
yeah. So let's see how long passes. About 2 hours pass, and eventually you see a group of 3 guys walking past. They have fairly simple clothing on. They appear to be wearing just quite light clothes. They don't have like leather armor on, like you see, or like heavy leather clothes, like a lot of people. They are all armed. They have most of them have large pistol-like weapons, and
Do they have the red stripe?
they do.
Great.
It looks this close. You see, it is basically a uniform. It's all down the left, singular stripe, goes from collarbone to chops.
Quick notes.
Yeah.
Quick notes.
They walk over, they sort of see you, butterfly at the face. One of them sort of runs off. He moves pretty quick too. The two are just sort of watching you, and they sort of move back to the side of the road or away from you.
Sort of fold my arms and I guess try to just nod at them.
Give a
They're
light wave.
basically doing the same. See that they're trying to work out what's going on.
I'm just gonna sit and wait, but with a nice smile.
They seem to look past where Jones is without noticing. It's very hard to read their intentions.
That's why it's just smile and wait for them to approach.
I recognise the guy running off as what a junior officer would do if something was out of their league and they had to go and get their boss.
Yep. Basically, or like the recruit. He did look that little bit younger as well, and some time passes.
Get the manager!
Not too much, and you see that guy and 2 others come around, and behind them there's a guy in a set of power suit armor. He even has the helmet on, whereas before he has a black stripe, and there's a large circle on the front of the power suit. It has a number 3 on it.
You said they were yellow last time, not
I did.
black.
For the power suit, yes.
Okay, fair enough.
And I said it was number 1 as well.
Ah,
He's the best boss.
the king boss.
So, you hear the thump, 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 the power armor. He has a large weapon strapped to his side. You probably don't immediately recognise it unless you're looking really close.
Probably not. Probably focusing on him more than the weapon.
Yep. They sort of walk over to the road facing the parklands. They're clearly looking at you guys.
Hello there.
This guy sort of looks around, looks past Jones again. There's a little bit of a discussion, and then the power armor man walks over to the edge of the road, takes a step onto the parklands and starts heading over to where you 2 are. You feel the ground vibrate a bit, even though it's soil. It's this heavy metal armor just moves him along. Eventually he gets close.
Hello there, friend. It's lovely to meet you.
Well, this is new. Well, not that new, but I assume you're here for a reason?
Yes, we wanted to meet and get to know you. We are on our way to establish trade routes with as many groups as we can, and we were told about your group. You are the Street Kings, yes?
Yes, we are.
Wonderful. We'd love to be able to meet with you and get to know you and hopefully be able to establish trading with you.
We are fine.
Really? There's not anything you need?
Nothing we want.
Well, I mean, wants and needs are different things.
You just got this metal face that's giving you nothing.
Do you think you'd be able to help us then?
Probably not.
That's a shame.
You don't think you could, or you wouldn't be willing to?
We like our own little patch.
We can understand that. We have our own little patch too, but we realise there are times when you have to branch out and get to know other people.
I am a bit bored today. What is it you'd want?
We're trying to fix a transmitter, a long distance transmitter. The one that we have access to has a lot of broken parts. We're trying to find pieces in order to try and fix it.
Well, that's nothing we can help with.
Oh, that's a shame.
I've heard that something has been seen on a building in your territory. That's why we waited here to ask.
Wouldn't surprise me. We leave the buildings alone.
Would you allow us to recover the parts from the building if you don't need them?
Nope. No one takes anything from our territory.
What if we gave you something in return?
You have nothing we want.
How can you be sure?
Because no one does. Because there's nothing we want. Okay. You caught me in a generous mood, so I'll give you this. Some of us will take this as stepping into our territory, even though me, I know you're outside of it. Be cautious. And he sort of looks back to you with a piece of hydroponics. I'm sure whatever is on our buildings is very tempting, but I'd advise against it.
Well, we obviously wouldn't want to intrude.
Well, the lads haven't had any fun for a while, so they might shoot first and ask questions later. Well, not that we ask questions.
Can I ask you something? Come across people who have been selling others. Have you ever had any trouble with them?
No,
They need to stay away then.
everyone does.
Have you let anyone inside before?
Like persuasion, present persuasion. 20 minus 3. You have to you subtract his composure.
No successes.
Just get nothing for a while and no.
Surely you must have women and children.
Okay.
Well, I only see you have men out here. You must have women and children nearby. Or would that be what you keep inside? The women and children to keep them safe? Because that would make sense. We do the same.
If we were keeping some people safe, would we tell you where they were?
No, which is the smart thing to do.
No.
But it would explain why you don't want people entering your area.
I think you've asked enough questions. And for future reference, you're lucky you caught me on a bored day. Off you go.
Thank you for your time, mister. It was lovely to meet you.
Let's get over here.
Just about stepping and walking away.
Straight past Jones, I'm imagining.
Yeah. He just turns around and heads back. You would have seen that his weapon was some type of energy weapon, but you didn't recognise it.
I'll sort of head back a bit, wait till they're cleared out.
Yep. They watch you guys head into the tree line fairly deep. There's enough colours on them, and there's enough of them that and they're chatting. You can tell when they move off.
Jones, are you still here somewhere?
I head back to the group once all the guys leave.
Yep.
Armour and power weapons.
What about them?
How would you go about keeping them functioning?
Alright, well, they need a power supply of some sort, and they must have large batteries.
They must have their own settlement, which would be what they're protecting.
That building in the centre. They said they don't maintain the buildings, that one's maintained. What are your thoughts?
They could have their power source in there.
Perhaps that's what they're protecting.
They are clearly a settlement. They're too uniform, they're too prepared. It has to be a settlement. And that's why they feel that they're self-sufficient.
And what could stand against them when they can constantly keep those powered?
Yes. They have a bunker mentality, but on the surface. That'll only get them so far.
It seems to have gotten them a fair way compared to everyone else we've seen.
What if they were a bunker? A bunker where they all collectively made to leave.
They did it better than the others, that's for sure.
But it would make sense.
Why? Why don't we go back to PAX? Maybe we could ask.
Maybe. It might know something.
I can see the top of the car park from over here.
Yes, let's
Wouldn't
head
take us
back.
long.
Let's head back.
Perhaps we should go check the Victoria. The Victoria Pass.
Yes,
Yes.
that's where we're headed now.
Yeah, you head there. It's not too far away. Then you reach the bunker door.
I believe you programmed yourself in, Skye?
Inputs my code 1, you start talking. Yes, it did.
I've now got my pistol drawn, just standing waiting for the door to open, just
Yep.
ready.
You do see. Can you get the sound? Okay.
Sounds good, tech.
Yeah, you see the bunker as you left it. The smell of rotting bodies, as if anything, fresher now that the life support's been switched on.
Bad ventilation.
Forgot about that.
I think we should leave the door open for a bit.
I think we should close it behind us.
You see the foyer where there's the intact power armor, there's the dead bodies, there's the power armor that was scavenged, including which had the missing helmet, which you stole. I don't stole, you took.
Requisition.
Well, it was off a dead body. That's fair.
Looted.
Like someone, looted off a dead body off the guy who attacked you.
Lucas would never do anything illegal.
Hmm?
Lucas would never do anything illegal.
He
Officially.
Right, there it
rescued
is. Totally.
it. He reclaimed it.
Lucas is really called Chick Check. But yes, it's as you left it.
How hard would it be to get that laser rifle out of the guy's hand?
Looking at it, if you could power the armor back up, probably not that hard.
How hard is it to remove the hand of a power armor suit?
With the right tools, not that hard. The trick of it is always the person's trying to stop you, but it's still it's just metal. Like it's good quality metal. There's like
The
different.
person can't stop him now, though.
Yeah, there's different like thermal layers and stuff like that. But ultimately,
No, I mean, I assume there's suits in different pieces, so I could just remove a whole lot of hand.
yeah, but it's like locked in place. But if you had like a metal hacksaw and enough time, enough spare blade, if you had like a welding torch, like if you went and got that welding torch you left down the bottom,
downstairs.
yeah, you probably could not too difficultly.
We're better off keeping it intact and getting it back, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a
she
long way
did
to take
mention
power armor
bringing it
suit.
back.
And
But she did mention trying to bring it back if possible.
I don't think anyone would stop us if we were walking through with a power armor suit.
And you should have a good go at being able to ride it.
I've done my training.
the problem isn't the suit, it's the power. You don't have anything to spare that can power the suit.
Well, that's what
you-
you get.
You notice that the hyper battery that normally powers the laser weapon is not in there, which was last time you were here.
Daryl!
Did I remove the gun? You don't remove the gun?
Nope.
So is the
Probably
gun
out the hand.
welded to the hand, or is it just...
It's gripped in and locked.
Because he died while holding it.
And it's like hydroponic, not hydroponics, hydraulic, so it's, yeah, it's gripped in place.
Everything's hydroponics now. I'm going
It's
to
power
try
brushing.
to open the power armor and see if I can get the body out.
Yes. Oh, geez. Intelligence minus drive because you are not trained
Minus.
drive. Because you're not trained in drive, which is what we're using for power armor. You take one off.
I will battle this one. For one success.
Yes, you remember the
Left
emergency training that you've done to get like someone out if they've had like been shot badly and they need to be pulled out for evac. And you just hope that this power armor system's the same as yours, and it is. And so you know the spots where you basically click and unlock, pull open this body that's been here a while. Yeah, about 3 months. He died in the first round. He died first.
Yes.
He
Skye
really
can-
did according to the video.
Yes.
Well, he had to.
I'm still
otherwise he would have
traumatized.
started shooting back.
Yeah.
I am still traumatized by that.
You take the body out, make a wits and composure check,
Told you I should have bought those points.
just to see if you throw up. Sorry, I meant
Told you I should.
I meant composure resolve.
Pleasure resolve.
Yeah, you
Should I
should.
re-roll that?
Did you get a success?
No.
Up
To
to
be
you.
fair, your wits and composure and your
I got a
results
success with
composure.
that extra die that we did.
Okay. You managed to hold it together as you're doing this really disgusting task. Thankfully, you brought those leather gloves.
Never leave home without them.
You don't, which is and yeah, you place them respectfully down, I assume.
Yes.
But yes, you have access to the inside. So it's similar to I don't know, a recent released computer game where you open up at the back and step in.
It's like a VR suit, but without the headset.
I'm going to jump in quickly and just check the controls and see if there is a manual override where you can walk the suit without power if you have to.
Essentially, no. It's just too heavy.
Yeah.
And the battery's been removed from this as well.
Yeah, a bit.
Oh, we need a new battery.
Also, the cut through damaged too much, like the heads-up display and circuitry and the like. You figure from the inside though, you could probably disengage the hand.
Okay.
So having seen Lucas look at it closely.
Yeah, so I sort of reach into the arm and put my hand in it and
Yeah.
try and release it.
You sort of emergency override it and just goes back into like a resting position, and the weapon starts falling over. Which I'm assuming you're looking at it, you're like, ah!
No, right gun.
And just never seen or heard from again.
It goes into Lucas's room of void.
Yes.
But it's going to be the most useful.
But without like such a potent battery, it's But otherwise-
it's a bludgeoning weapon now.
otherwise it seems fairly intact.
Are these designed to be also handled by people that aren't in power armor?
The laser weapons are.
Okay.
They're pretty borderline though between the two. But the pistol that is on the other one is designed just for power armor. You can use it if you know in power armor, but there's some fairly decent penalties.
Okay.
It's basically like the elephant gun.
Just very heavy.
But,
so
like,
hard
in a
to
pistol
actually hold
form.
and aim and-
But it's also like designed to have like a big metal hand around it as well. So you're like,
Yeah.
you've got to really pour a grip on it, and there's like huge amounts of kickback.
Yeah. And lots of accuracy from grabbing it like that.
Yeah. So yes, you have the laser weapon. Power arm's been disengaged, opened.
I'm gonna head towards the packs.
Yep.
Why don't you guys go to PAX and I'll go down to the blowtorch and see.
I was
where it
already
is at.
going.
So you headed off.
I'll step out and see them both heading in different directions and confused as to what the hell's going on.
Yep. Well, you probably need to head to a shower.
Hey, uncalled for.
No, it's not. You just stepped inside a power armor that had a dead body in it for 3 months.
I'll be fine.
If anything, it's improved your smell. Alright, so yeah, you go and find Pax. You know how to get in, there's still power running.
I would go with you to that.
Smelly.
Yeah, so that's not an issue. You don't see any ferals or anything down here. So.
I just start making my way inside.
Mm-hmm.
Go through, start pulling up information on the Street Kings if possible.
So you access the machine mind.
I already deleted all the information about the other facilities, but I recorded it in my notes. So I'll have to reverse engineer that later back at the bunker.
Yeah.
But I can find out anything on the Street Kings. Attempt to correlate it together.
You pull up their notes of the Street Kings. They're pretty vague. The key points, apart from the things is that basically they're generally fairly amicable. Sometimes they get drunk and rowdy. Sometimes they attack people. But compared to some people, that's not that bad. Like, they are led by people in power armor. There seems to be some level of hierarchy there. It's not quite sure what it is. The one in the armor has number 1. He doesn't wear a helmet, but he has like some metal around his head. And
He has a metal headband.
basically,
He's a weeaboo.
I'm picturing it more. For those who are trying to imagine it, it's like he got a street sign that said King Street, and there's something in the middle that's faded out, and he's bent it around like a laurel wreath.
Crown.
Like, it's like more like a laurel wreath, except out of a street sign.
Okay, less weeaboo.
More
Maybe
metal.
More
Just boo.
Romeaboo? Romanaboo. Either way.
Does that even exist? Anyway, that's a question we can ask afterwards. They're very defensive of the territory, but there is a note, because these guys live right here, that the only people they allow in the territory are the Arcadians. So.
Notes.
I'm going to start asking Pats. Pats, trace power sources in facility.
Well, there's the power source, the primary reactor.
And that's all it comes back with?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just checking what's on the electrical network. Everything else is a drain. There's like a couple of like emergency batteries, but there's nothing potent enough for like a power arm or anything like that.
Okay. Perhaps we should have bought one of the power packs from the bunker.
Like Pax is powered, yeah, but it's
Sorry?
Pax is
No, the
powered.
power pack
Oh yeah.
from the other
Yeah.
armour.
Yeah, the hyper battery to walk it back. The other worst case scenario would be walking back to Burnside to borrow it and give it back, but that might be a bit pressing it too far.
Unless we can get them the parts they need first.
Yeah.
Then I imagine they would at least do us that favour.
Street Kings only allow the Arcadians inside. They were already nearby, but would they have instigated the attack? They seemed amicable for it.
Well, it sounds like the Arcadians are the problem, but it sounds like they're more powerful than what we can deal with.
Yes. Unless the Street Kings know how dangerous they are. Which is why they're allowed free reign. Because to deny them would be to potentially incur their wrath.
I think there's a reason they dispatched of those in power armor at the front. I don't think they would be able to deal with it. You saw what the laser rifle did to the one down below.
Yes, that would be why they took out the power armor. I have a lot to think about. A lot of information to piece together.
This might be one for Jones.
Speaking of,
So I have to go torch down by the engine room where that guy almost killed me, yeah?
Yep.
Yep, so I go back down there, I grab the power torch, and then I head into the engine room. Is the body still there?
yeah, it's Daryl pretty brutalised it when he was investigating it. But it's there. One piece.
Alright. Is the brain chip still there?
The
brain chip he had in his head.
Oh yeah, the brain
int
hardware.
medicine -2.
No successes.
I mean, you see the circuitry inside, and then there's a big hole, and the other side's melted out, but you do see the glint of silver.
Throughout his body, is there any other modifications?
Yes, rate the body for parts.
That will be in medicine again. Actually, no, this will be in science, -2. If you're not worrying about, if you're only looking for the additions.
Yeah. 2 successes.
You quickly come across a problem, which is that he has some sort of a resilient weave under his skin that you think would at least be partially bulletproof, stab-proof to a certain extent. I mean, you saw this yourself. It's got what appear to be, as you saw very well, very large retractable blades up. Has thankfully Daryl has already done a lot of the work for you. You see that there's circuitry that goes into the muscles. You saw Daryl pull out something from his chest, where his heart had been.
Because we commented that it was a battery.
Yeah, and or a power source at least, and does look like a couple of the organs have just got like little bits added to them. How many successes did you get?
2.
You'd notice one of the eyes is modified as well. It appears to be like a glass sphere with some sort of technology inside.
Right, I'm going to take notes and then I'm going to rip out the eye.
Yep.
I thought you were going to rip out the eye, and I'm so glad.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do something horrible.
Yeah, you pull
Gotta make it scope out.
basically cybernetic eye out. It's got like little wires at the back that are like attached in somewhere inside the head.
It's a
You just
homing
rip it?
gun.
I try and take it. Like, how hard would it be to unwire it and stuff?
Well, you don't really know how it connects inside.
Yeah, I fuck them.
Yeah, you
And I'll try and cut out a
bit of brain matter.
a bit of the weave that he has under his skin. And remove one of the arm blades.
You have any tools on you or knives?
I assume if I didn't get mine back when I asked for my stuff, I would have picked some up on the way down.
I mean, you're right outside of logistics.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the middle of logistics, more to the point. You can
find something.
You can get like a Bowie knife sort of thing, and that will assist you in this crafts
I
check.
already had a Bowie knife. I already had a Bowie knife.
What, did you get stolen?
You can get another one.
I got it last time we were there. When I went
You have a Bowie knife. That's the important part. And you cut off a section.
Yeah, and then I remove an arm blade.
That's pretty much just going to the elbow and going.
Yeah.
Taking with your forearm.
The whole arm, I take the bolter watch.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Now, is the retractable
Can you
blade...
please make a resolve composure check?
Yep.
You fellas, you're going about, what have I done? I've become a monster.
Become?
Well, yeah.
If we had integrity in this game, Lucas would be a lot lower down.
No, because it's based on what you start like.
So it looks might have gone up as much.
Can I use a willpower on that after I roll?
Yes, we modify the rules slightly, so if you fail, you can use willpower because it's a stream and let's make it interesting.
1 success.
You chop the arm off.
Failing is also interesting.
Sweet.
True.
Now, looking at it, does it need a power source to activate?
It appears to be, to come out anyway, it appears to be spring loaded essentially.
Yeah.
There's a spring in there.
We need those.
I wrap all this up so it's hidden, and then I put it in my bag, and I go back to the blowtorch.
Yep.
Not the whole arm. I assume I removed the rest of the arm from the retractable blade by this point.
But what if you took the whole arm?
It's pretty. Like, you'd have to go cut through the ballistic weave down. It's pretty integral.
Just take the arm.
I'm taking the arm then.
Yeah.
Yes!
And then I will start working on the...
Now, the problem is the blade's locked out.
Oh, it's locked out?
Like, yeah, it's out and it's locked in position.
I've got a
Work out
question.
how to retract it.
Why do I keep ending up in games where people sever limbs off and put them in a bag?
I'm sorry, just I run the game. It doesn't mean
I don't want the
Every
limb,
time.
I just want the blade.
I feel like you encourage this.
I allow it. That's basically encouraging it. So, yeah.
All
Can I
parts
find
of my
the
characters have lost a
unlock?
limb.
Oh, they kept it in bags.
One of them did. It was her tail. She
What would... I have no idea what that would be. Just do wits and intelligence.
No. Can I use my troubleshooting? Or possibly my neogen in science?
Probably no for either of them.
Damn it. So what was it again?
Just wits and intelligence. Which I think's like basically your best dice pool.
Just roll all of them.
Yeah, okay.
3 successes.
Without damaging it or yourself,
Yeah.
you manage to sort of get a tool and put it in, and you see there's a catch that there's like comes off some sort of like central wire, comes down to a couple of points, and you just like essentially manually damage them all and they slide down.
The catch is you're cutting up bodies again.
You manually pull the ligament so that it triggers it to go back in.
Yeah, that
It's
would
like Pickle Rick.
I like this. I would just keep out his arm and put it on like a glove.
Yes!
I will wear you like a glove.
Got those
Alright.
Scandinavian witch pants.
Once I've
Yes.
secured it all, I'll wrap it up and hide it so they don't see it when I leave, and then I'll go back to getting rid of the power arm I have from the gun, the blowtorch.
You have the laser rifle already.
Yeah, but it's got the hand on it, doesn't it?
No, we
No.
got it off from the glove.
No, sorry. Okay, so obviously I wasn't clear enough. Because Sam got inside.
Oh, it released the handle.
Yeah.
Alright.
No, he's come.
You still have the blowtorch thing.
Yeah. I don't know why I keep down here then. Anyway, it was good cover. I get the blowtorch and I start. I don't actually need the blowtorch actually. I leave the blowtorch and I'm looking for power supplies, like batteries where they would be stored.
Well, the fact you went down there to find it and didn't even need it.
Well, you know, yeah, you would go to
So you didn't
the.
need it. Cut off the arm.
You go to the lock-up essentially where Dawn would work,
Yeah.
which is probably very satisfying. This is where cousin worked dusk. So you go there. It looks pretty drawn on. I'm just gonna make you make a straight wits composure check at -3, just to see if there happens to be one in there, rather than making you search locker by locker.
2 successes.
Jeez.
The answer
Yes.
is yes.
The answer
the
is
first locker and you find one.
yeah.
You
You
find multiple.
no.
Locker full.
No, that would be a
Is
crit.
this a power source that
Roll
could
that.
power my laser rifle?
Well, it's a hyper battery. They can power armor, legitimate energy weapons. They're like you could easily run an electric car off one if you had an electric car, which you don't.
I
Yes.
wrap it up and I hide it in my bag.
Yeah, you've heard a few people in trading as well mention how valuable they are.
Yeah.
Especially in getting power armor back to your settlement.
This is true, but it can also be used for other things.
Yeah, but you could get it back.
You could make a really good door trap. So you guys are still at PAX.
Ah, yes.
I'm just going to start running it through for information about the surface so that I can note it down before we take the crystals.
You don't. Of the surface itself. There's general information about weather, about living on the surface,
Yes.
farming, what they've learned and managed to adapt from their own farms.
Notes.
Uh,
Notes.
Anything about hydroponics?
they mention how good it is. They call it Lamo growing.
Yes.
I know. You come across this a recipe for this thing called screened for the sun that apparently you can put on your skin and it's
A
less likely to
tincture.
get burned. Yeah,
This
Yeah.
strange tincture made of oil and metal.
basically.
Powdered metal.
But they figured that only in the most extreme cases they'd use it, and then very sparingly because it does require the use of rare metals. Come across more stuff like that. You come across enough that if you stayed it, you could probably pick up a survival dot or increase. Just a lot of little bits here and there, reading reports and stuff like that. Basically, the kind of things you guys have been doing, but
I will justify purchasing a survival dot from this, if I may, because I have enough XP for it.
Try to learn how to communicate more effectively with people that live above the surface.
Now I have no XP left.
you come across
How to win friends and influence people.
one report from someone who was talked about going to other trading camps rather than just setting up their own, being more proactive in it. Said basically the key ways to do it is find out what people's problems are and solve them. Goodwill goes a long way. Become known as like problem solvers, and people will give you things to solve their problems. But also work out what people are lacking and they're in desperate need of, and offer that to them. It's basically trading 101. What
I'm
do
more
people?
looking for just basics, so I don't have to say that, you know, that strange thing that's grey and comes towards us and is wet.
Under weather, it talks about rainstorms and thunderclouds.
I just want to look up general knowledge of the surface, things like that.
Yeah, well, that's
That's what
sort
I
of what
was
she's doing.
looking
So it makes it really easy because you just look at discussion of it. Yeah. But that's enough that if you wanted to increase your survival as well, if you wanted to spend XP.
Yeah, what option?
You pay a little bit more attention to the security reports on how people set up ambushes and stuff as well.
Yeah.
I will make a note about the trading stuff though, because that is very important. Like setting ourselves up as problem solvers is very interesting.
Yeah.
Notes.
Yes. You do find a reference that they sort of tried to work what everyone needed. The only place that seems outright self-sufficient is the Queendom. They seem big and organised and increasing in size, and they're up north.
My new friend Ford told me about them. He said he lived there.
Interesting.
He seemed to think we'd be welcome enough if we came not causing problems.
That is good to know. What did they have up there?
Well, by the looks of this report, everything. If they're
Ah.
self-sufficient, they have to. Which is going to make it harder to trade, admittedly,
But we could learn skills from there.
and
At the
perhaps
very least.
contribute our own.
Yes. Because even if they're self-sufficient, there's going to be problems they can't solve.
Or maybe it's just not worth their time to, and we can help out.
The reference is that seems probably a bit weird to you is they're the only one that is. They have like a central settlement, but they also have like a number of other smaller sub-settlements, and they all work together. They even have like a roving security forces, and they refer to soldiers and things like that. They actually have a standing military, very small one, but you don't like yeah, it's like see, you now understand it would be a very small one, but
I have to ask, Queendom, is this based in Elizabeth?
it is based north of the city, fair distance.
Is it Elizabeth? Because Elizabeth is named after the Queen.
Yes.
Okay. That makes a lot of
I'm not gonna
sense.
lie, I didn't have to ask. I was kind of ashamed.
I mean, I have to tell you some things later then.
Okay.
Stuff that'll help the world, but not on stream. Anyway.
They got nuked and helped the world. No, sorry. Sorry to people in Elizabeth. Sorry.
I'm not.
People down south are the worst though.
Yes.
Damn down south is anyway.
Yeah, so you guys are still going to, that will take you quite a while to do. You're going through a lot of reports and everything.
Yeah.
I am from the north.
Yes, once I'm done with that, I'll start searching for more stuff I can take.
Are you here to actually take anything officially?
I guess on the way back up, I'll harvest from the elevator, but that's about it.
Okay. If you're gonna take stuff from the elevator and packs, you probably can't pick up too much extra stuff.
Alright, I'll just go to the elevator, then I won't worry about packs.
Alright.
I will be worrying about packs. I need parts for Dad.
It is the elevator is doable. It will take you a few hours to get what you need. You are just skillful enough that it's just a matter of time, especially if you're being cautious.
I'll just sit there and
Yep.
what?
Skye, I know we want the parts, but potentially it's more valuable to have a reference here if we ever need it.
That is true. But if we could bring its information crystals back, we would have them with us.
And lose it, yeah.
I wish that we could have a portable PAX. A PAX that we could just carry on our hip.
Or even our wrist.
I feel safer carrying it on my hip than
You want a hip packs?
just in my pockets. Like in the pocket bags that we carry.
But if we had it on our wrist, we could potentially insert games on it and play them.
What's the point? It was just get in the way. But if we had a tiny PAX that we could carry around, it'd be so convenient.
It would be very convenient.
Are there parts that are non-essential right now that we could strip from this PAX that our PAX needs?
Yes. Well, if you your computer knowledge, you would know, and you would have heard your dad talking about it, and they probably would have given you instructions on this. You can shut down individual servers and try to dump the data elsewhere. Because the core parts are packed, the parts you would really want, because they're irreplaceable, which aren't the crystals. The crystals have information, but the bits of packs are essentially it's a server farm. But it's like from the golden age of technology, so you can't replace it because it involves plastics and all these other things. Yeah, because plastics is the most complicated thing in a computer, but it involves a level of technology that is too resource dependent to continue.
Circuitry and networking.
Yeah.
There are parts that we can take.
Because a lot of that is outright processing power more than storage. So
Yeah.
well,
Circuits and processors, RAM.
this PAX can also listen, whereas your PAX can no longer do that.
Waters.
We should take.
We have a fully functioning facility ready to go here. Why not create an outpost for ourselves, like the Queendom have?
We'd have to clean out the bodies.
I'm sure we could get some willing to, for the promise of a future.
But there's also the risk that they were attacked once.
When the doors were open. You're the only one that can do that now.
That's true.
Oops.
That's alright, it's nice elevator music in here.
There was lower levels where they're trying to grow crops. I believe I could maybe get them growing again. A supply of food,
And the food
Yeah.
on the surface.
power. It could be much better than the Waterfall Bunker Facility.
But that's still our home.
It's still our home.
This would
But
only
this could be
an
a home for
outpost.
future generations.
This should only be an outpost. It shouldn't be our new home. Our home
Imagine
is
if
safe.
everyone there, everyone at home, could have a family and have children without worrying about resources, without worrying about space, without having to get it authorized.
I see your point, but this place is known. There are those who've been able to enter to see inside of here before, that people will know this layout.
The burned village has been active before. They're still standing.
They have more
Sleepings,
numbers than
we know now have been.
They have more numbers.
Yes, for now. But if we could make an ally of them,
True.
I think this is the way of the future. Unless we're going to live on the surface, we can make it safe down here again. And there might be more. We have the data back home. We could make a network.
We could. I still prefer the idea of at least improving our packs. Have this as a backup packs. It has the information, yes, but there are things in this one that it doesn't need that we desperately need back home.
Well, I suppose we could always bring them back if needed.
There are some things I am stripping before we go. There are some things here that we can't leave without right now.
I understand, and that's what we're here to do. It's worth considering for the future. Frameworks here. Plenty of air ducts for Jones to crawl around in. Never run out of them here.
I have a bad feeling, but it's a good idea.
They were taken unaware, with their doors open. Their sentries killed before they knew what was happening. We would know this time. If we could find a way to make an alliance with the Street Kings, keep everything powered.
There should still only be an outpost. For now, at least.
Problem for another day, not for us, but worth taking back.
You're right. It feels wrong now to have this as a new settlement for us. It feels like walking into a grave.
Well, as we've been taught, death supports new life.
It does. It does.
Anyway, I wonder how Jones is getting on.
It just feels too disrespectful yet.
So
We should find Lucas.
so you stripping parts of the computer?
Yes.
Int computers -2, please.
Alrighty.
Can I assist with that?
Are you
We've got
trying?
one in computer to an int.
Yep. So that'll be 1 dice, not chance dice, but just 1 dice.
I will retroactively add a willpower. I have 1 success, but I want to see if I can get more.
Yep.
Could not get more. 1 success.
Yeah, you transfer as much information as you can off onto the crystals. You think you have 3 server units clear. Looks like you'd have to sort of, because they're in like raid, you'd have to like work on others. And you think it's probably good for now. Carry 1 each. That'll do. It's not too many that are good here. After all, it's very rare technology.
Carefully get it out. Sleep.
You closed this room off to everyone except you, didn't you?
Yeah. I made sure of that. Not even Daryl can get back in here.
You left there's the access code with the bunker, with your bunker. I'm just curious,
Yes.
Are you the only person who actually knows how to get into this whole place?
That's actually a really good question.
All guns pointed at Skye.
You probably would have like told them that you locked it down, but you probably wouldn't have gone, this is the code by the way, because you wouldn't expect them to know it.
Yeah, actually that would have been what she would have done.
And it's probably not super safe to put it on the dictaphone either.
No. She would have hidden it in a triple cipher. So her own... Yeah, she would have hidden it. Oh,
Okay, cool.
she's the only one who knows. Wonderful.
Then I get some paint, put a bullseye. So you get... Yeah,
It means I'm valuable.
Actually, yes, it means you're probably the most valuable person alive. Unless someone's a blowtorch. So you break the stuff down, you break the elevator, well, you break the elevator getting what you need. Assume you all meet up, all your parts.
Got what you need, Jones?
Yes, I do.
Alright, shall we head off?
Cool, you're taking one of these passes the server unit.
Why can't you carry it? I'm carrying the parts for the elevator.
I'm already carrying one.
How big are these servo units?
It's like a PC.
Alright. How much am I carrying in elevator parts?
You are carrying less than an oven door worth.
But more than a small oven door's worth.
You're it'd be an effort, but you could carry it.
Yeah.
You're feeling pretty strong these days.
Alright, I carry it.
You didn't need that much for the elevator because all the heavy stuff you can build anyway. That's not an issue. It's
The small components.
yeah, it's like the control board, the small gears that are just too finicky, that need too high quality things like that.
Yeah.
So you probably don't have that much stuff from the actual elevator itself because it's all control.
And the stuff from the guy is not heavy. Like the arm.
No.
It's real
The-
bulky.
The yeah, I mean it's
Just a
It's
blade.
an arm.
yeah, it's really actually it's really surprisingly light. The arm. Is there a fair chance Lucas does know this? Would weigh about the same as a normal arm, only slightly heavier.
I'm sure he's lifted his own arm at least.
Or rather,
Yes.
His own arm.
This is mine now. Alright, so you guys are done?
yeah, so as we're heading up. Jonas,
Yes.
Waters and I were discussing. This could be valuable as a new outpost, somewhere for us to expand. What do you think?
I agree. There are lots of people in the bunker that could leave and make it better.
Imagine that you could have so much space for all the families there.
Too much space feels wrong.
But we can expand and fill it.
True. We could double our numbers. Possibly even up to triple.
Oh, others can, yes. But it won't be regulated. That's the important thing.
We should head back.
On the way out, are there any schematics of this place?
There are.
The one I took for sure.
Yes.
Oh, you took one? Yeah, cool.
In the first time we came here,
Yeah.
I took one and I still have it. Because I kept it.
So yes.
So
If you're looking for a
I'll
detailed
walk around
schematic,
talking about
it's-
schematics and then Scott tells me that.
do you want to have a look at this? Yeah.
Is there a schematic? You mean this one?
Yes, something like that.
The best one I could find in the whole facility?
She looked at the admin's desk.
Well, that should do it.
Okay, so you guys head up. You leave.
Everything's relocked.
And you are headed to where?
Or yes, the bunker, yeah?
Gets home.
Alrighty. Make a wit survival, please. -1, whoever's taking the point.
Yeah, you should probably do this one. You have a second survival dot now. There's a reroll.
One success.
So you start headed back, and you do. You most of the way there. You're getting fairly close to the burn village, and you spot some people that take you by a bit shocking, especially for Skye. You spot a group of 3 people in white robes just walking along. They seem to be just calmly walking down the middle of this. Weaving their way through the road. All the roads around here have a lot of debris and stuff around. It's probably why no one's using cars. So yeah, they're just walking.
So keep it cool, Skye. No one seems to think they're up to what they have there.
She just looks like completely black-faced, but inside is just screaming.
One of them, from a surprising distance, sort of turns around and gives you a sort of a nod without the prayer hands. The nod, and they just walk past towards the village. You see a couple of them have backpacks on. They just keep walking.
Inside in the head is just danger, 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 Will Robinson, danger.
Excuse me.
They sort of slow down. One turns around. Yes.
I've heard you're on good terms with the Street Kings.
Oh, I don't know if we would go that far, but We like to think we're friends with everybody.
Yes, I've heard you're very helpful.
Well, thank you.
I've heard you're excellent with medicine and have helped a lot of people.
Yes, we try to make the world a better place.
What would make the world a better place would be if you could help us. I know it's a lot to ask, but the Street Kings have a building with an antenna on the roof. We need those parts for our friends, so they can communicate with their friends further away. Is there anything you could do to help us?
I think we probably can. What building?
I believe they called it Dragon Fruit Telecommunications.
Ah, yes, we're familiar with this building.
Inside their territory. We tried to speak to them, but they were not interested.
And who needs it?
The people of the Burnt Village.
Ah, yes.
Lincoln and Jet specifically.
We'll see what we can do.
That'd be much appreciated. Should we come and see you, or
I'm sure we can handle it if we're able to handle it.
and you'll deliver it to them?
Of course.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Of
If we
course.
can help, we're happy to.
I'll be seeing you around. Thank you.
Thank you. No, head off.
After they're well and truly gone. Why did you do that?
Because they're the only ones that can help. And I don't think it was of their own volition.
You're right that it wasn't of their own volition, but... Let's
What
keep
is-
going.
I can't tell you how many times my wife has woken up in the night screaming and trying to strangle me. It wasn't her choice. It wasn't theirs.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
I never want to meet one of their leaders. Let's keep going.
You get the rest of the way. That's not a problem. There's currently, for some reason, no one in the valley, the waterfall valley that leads to your bunker. You reach the area with all the cars.
Yes.
Yeah, looks clear. You head across it. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
From what you say otherwise.
Head our way through and patch in. If it looks clear.
As you reach the waterfall, you see there's some people behind it. But they move back.
They're clearly our own.
Yeah. You step
Clearly
through,
our own.
and yes, you see a couple of security.
Is the cute one there?
No.
Aww.
No, he's out here.
He's out there. Daryl.
And yeah, they let you through.
We head over and patch our way in.
Yep. So yeah, you get let in. Things are still very cautious, but a little bit more casual every time as the novelty starts to wear off that little bit. And you are home.
I'm heading immediately to Dad to hand over the tax parts.
Let's catch us out. It's a shame we couldn't find a hyper battery and bring that armor back.
Yeah, we'll have to do that another time.
You found this method battery. So you all go deliver the pack stuff.
I let them do the arm, go to the arm.
Sure.
We just like start heading us like, God damn it, where's Lucas gone?
I've stopped trying to find him. Shows up when he's
So you guys head to PAX. You summon.
Knock, knock. Dad!
Ah, hello, Skye.
Dad, we've brought some parts back for PAX.
What did you get?
Oak takes off the bag and pulls out the server. There's 3 of these.
Nice. Anything else? Not that I want to get greedy.
I couldn't scrap off more than that, sorry. Next time.
They got 3 servers. Someone's like, yes. Oh, next time radio ahead so I can bet on the right thing. Let's get these installed.
Lucas.
Um,
He'll be back.
Probably too late, like usual.
Always.
Sure.
What were you betting on?
Well, what do you bring back?
Yeah, what were you betting on?
I said 3 servers and some other miscellaneous parts. I figured you'd be able to carry 1 each and you'd pocket some good stuff.
I mean, I do have this. Pulls out the random scrap, but that's not useful, I think.
No, it's not.
I mean,
I
it's
take my hand
technically.
in my pocket. Bit of sand.
I mean, it's technically miscellaneous.
Useful.
It's technically miscellaneous, but it's not just a random hacks thing.
No. Heads in, we'll start setting it up. So you head to the armory?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it dawn shift?
Yes.
No.
Leave the poor woman alone.
She must suffer. No. I go in. Is there anyone else in here?
No.
Alright. I approach
You and
door.
Dawn alone.
Cue the Barry White.
She's gonna stun me again.
You're gonna get hit with the
Choose a
stomach.
Jones.
Yeah. I have acquired some new items out there, and I was wondering if perhaps you could modify them for use.
I'm liking where this conversation's going.
Of course, I have to be able to trust you to be able to deliver you these goods. Perhaps you could return to me or find the items that were stolen from my fleet. Specifically, I had quite a collection of food notes. If those are returned to me, I could certainly see to myself helping you with your studies.
Are you being genuine? You took him to teach her a lesson. Back and hands them over. There's like 1 corner missing. Sorry, I was hungry after last shift.
I take the notes and I pull out the arm.
The what?
The arm.
Just flumps an arm on the table.
Enjoy.
Go on.
Alright, so in here, and
This is
Now
I know this is the armory, but it's not that literal.
Oh, you have me curious, but now I'm interested.
alright, so I hit the trigger to make it retract. Am I knowledgeable enough that I could get it to shoot out again?
Do it in
No,
reverse.
it's sort of like it's an internal trigger.
Yeah.
So
We'll
Well,
have to jig around
But
for it.
flex.
you burnt it off?
Yeah.
You probably could with a screwdriver.
I can do that and shoot it.
So it's like, bang! It's like,
A blade shoots out of his arm.
So I grab a screwdriver then and I try and get it to do it.
sure, make a straight, just roll dex.
2 successes.
So you do it and don't drop it, and it looks really impressive. You're just like,
Now, yeah, this is really amazing. Could you perhaps remove the arm, because, you know, I don't need the arm, and fit it so I could just use it?
leave it with me. Leave it with me. Also, don't get your power armor helmet back just yet.
Okay.
No way, you took that back, didn't you? Yeah, it might be best you bring it back to me before you try it on, and just leave it here, no questions asked, and then pick it back up with the arm.
Okay.
She just like takes the arm away and she just walked off.
Yeah. I'm gonna head back to my room.
Try it on.
Remembering to put on my rubber glove before I touch the door.
Yeah.
Then I head in and I close the door and I pull out the eye and I start studying it.
Okay.
The Jenna power armor held on your head.
Obviously I have to put the helmet on. to
Put
set
the
it up.
eye in the
Yeah.
helmet.
How are you studying it? It's
Do I assume I have access down here to like magnifying glass and stuff like that?
not so much magnifying glass, yes, but it's probably not in your room.
Alright. I
You
assume
still
I can
have the goddamn server.
It's like one of those foul with
I can't just go to the tool room and study an eye. Someone will get suspicious.
Well,
Do I
it's kind
have
of
a
job to
private
do that
office
sort
and
of thing.
logistics?
No.
Or like a private workbench?
You've got
No.
a private office upstairs for the 3 of us.
Can you at least drop off the server?
I gave it to you when I left.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I said that.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what's it.
Yeah.
So clearly you walk back, pick it up, and take it.
I'm like, oh, sorry, I'll pick that up.
I would just spend. I guess I would try and go get some wiring tools that are used for like troubleshooting machines and stuff like that, and just see what I get from it.
Alright, this is going to be a Dex and Science -5. It is a very vulnerable piece of technology.
Should have put that helmet on first.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I'm definitely
and,
using willpower.
you don't have any tools that are really like this level of detail. If you fail, it'll be a crit fail.
Now, you said I had wiring on it. Can I instead attempt to rig it up to my computer and turn it on and see what it does?
That's a good question.
You can certainly try.
Can you hook it up to your power armor helmet?
Put it on.
Yes, you can certainly try.
Alright. Same disadvantages?
Yeah, I won't give you the critical auto fail. You know what I mean?
He was fine anyway.
2 successes.
You hook it up. You hook it up to your essentially dumb terminal.
Yeah.
And activate it. Try to connect to it.
Yeah.
Comes up with just a bunch of like you access it and you can see it clicking through a boot sequence and just putting a bunch of essentially nonsense information to you. Although you recognise some of the terms like caching and all this thing and activating ocular implant and so on and so forth. Then
Shoots a laser beam at you.
and actually, you guys are currently working on packs, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Can you roll int and computers, and can you roll it at -4?
Can I assist?
Yeah, at same penalty, and then
And can I add willpower?
There you
you
go.
can, and so you'll get 1 from Sam and
So 1 from Sam and willpower, and then -4.
That's not too bad.
And that's why I added willpower. 2 successes.
You're doing this. You're going through it, and then you see appears on the screen alert external hacking detected. And
Quick,
just
shut it down.
yeah, you just reach over and like hit a shutdown button and just basically turn off packs.
Dad!
Your terminal goes off.
Yeah.
The art powers down.
External. Surely that didn't follow us back.
Where did that come from? It would have had to be inside of the system already. Was there something in the servers?
Oh, what happened?
We had to auto shut down. There's an external hack.
Really? That shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, something has to already be on the system.
We have no external connections.
It came up with a warning.
There can't be something in the servers.
Well, it might be. We can
We have to check them.
isolate them and run the central core off the 3 servers and see what happens.
But there shouldn't be anything.
That means nothing to me. I'll leave that to you.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anything in them because I have private passcode on all of the systems. They would only have to, but they wouldn't have been any power to put something in there.
What was the last stuff that you saw before that? If you want to roll int composure, it's going to be at -3.
Since I was standing watching, can I roll?
Yeah, she probably was actually doing the hard stuff.
1 success.
And you were just looking at his shoulder. That's for the.
Add another 2.
Probably
Two
go
dice.
around, add 1, roll more dice to roll.
2 successes.
I had 1.
So you point out that it did show like a connection via one of the terminals, and you were like,
What terminal was that?
That was. I recognise that code. That was. You don't recognise it as Jones's, but you do recognise it as his block.
Yeah. Something down there is trying to get in.
So you recognise it as being tried to connect through one of the done terminals and it being in the general barracks.
Well,
What are you going through there?
luckily it's not from the outside. It's just someone inside doing something they shouldn't.
No one has been able to do that before.
I guess they found a way.
We don't even have any. There's no technology here to be able to do that.
I guess they found a way. They have to have. We saw it.
Lucas.
Ah, Lucas.
Lucas!
There's just
Like, immediately just gets up, like, angry, just turns and walks out.
So you storm down to Lucas's quarters.
Yep.
I more calmly follow behind.
Cool. So you
Frustrated.
get to Lucas's quarters.
I'm not even gonna knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna yell through. Lucas!
go away, I'm working. I put in the eye by now.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah.
No.
I now have double series secret hiding spots after I got robbed.
You've got like dummy stashes.
You're going to come out here right now, young man.
I'm totally ignoring him.
Lucas, what did you do? Because whatever you just did, I saw it. So you have to come out here right now and tell me what it is you just did.
Can I escape from my
Yes.
Alright.
We have established previously that you use your overt for stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna use
Well,
everything to get to the mess hall.
Yes. Yeah. Make this is your room. It's set up for this.
Alright.
You don't get any response from Lucas.
Lucas, you air dwelling.
Do we hear anything banging about in the room? What would that be?
It'll be with composure -1.
Just Composure.
Yeah.
Here's something once.
Yeah, you're hearing noise inside. Hear a bit of metal on metal. Then nothing.
Lucas, we saw something enter packs. Get out here.
Sound stopped.
He's left, hasn't he?
How? Oh, God, Lucas.
Lucas! Okay, where would he be? Where would he go to hide?
I don't know.
Logistics? He's always in there.
Too obvious.
He must have a hidey hole in there somewhere.
I'm totally not hiding in the mess hall.
I get it.
He made me do this. I walk over to a terminal and put out an alert on him. Double security notified.
Yep.
Bring Lucas.
You put out an APB on
Sam Bolton
Lucas.
Immediately.
What instructions do you give?
Urgent pathfinding mission. Jones needs to be escorted to Sam Bolton and Skye Waters immediately.
Where do you say you are?
Where we are.
Okay. So are you?
I'm at the mess hall again, so I see.
So you're trading ration cards over for food.
Yeah.
Then suddenly you feel the presence of a couple of people behind you.
What do you want? I'm busy.
Sorry, we've urgent Pathfinder mission. Where to escort you immediately.
Fine. Take my food.
Yep, they with your food. Yeah, they escort you back to where these two are.
I'm standing with my arms folded behind. Waters is going.
What do you
All
want?
yours. Thank you. That'll be all.
They nod and walk off.
I seen you did that.
Did what?
Something external hacking into packs.
Well, no, I'm internal. Why would I be external hacking?
You must have brought something back from service.
No, you brought the service back.
No, because there's no way something could have entered the server systems because I locked everything down and there's no way someone would have been able to access it beforehand
And
because the
it was trapped
servers
with
were
this
locked.
block, Jones.
You mean after we got there, after the people invaded the bunker, killed everyone, and then left?
Yes,
You're
when
signing
everything
everything by
was
people.
shut down and completely locked down. Nothing can have entered packs.
But they could have.
Dad is currently running a check on the servers, but there is no indication that something would happen, and we saw it come from your dummy terminal.
Like it came from my dummy terminal. I wasn't in my room.
We heard you leave through the vent.
You told us to go away.
Is that really?
Yes.
Oh yeah, shit.
To be fair, that is as good as Lucas is lying.
And that was way funnier.
Think about that.
So what did you do?
So
Nothing.
we might leave it at oh shit. This is about time. Give Lucas a week to compose himself. So
Get good at lying, boy.
get good at lying. So thank you for joining us. Feel free to stay around for 5 minutes, and we'll have After the Ashes After Dark.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be After Glow.
Ooh.
We'll see you soon.
Are we back? I'm trying to pull up the chat so I know what people asked.
Nothing.
Nothing?
I don't even have
No,
a
just
tablet to
don't
read the
care.
chat today.
Is that true? Do you
It's
just not
flat.
care?
I think there were some questions before, but they were sort of answered offside.
Oh, we should answer them anyway, if possible.
Well, one of them was What?
I haven't read the
Where
chat.
was it? It's what was Lucas's next kitchen appliance? And I said it was a spatula.
Spatulas are terrible.
What item? Yeah, well, that's what solid
A
downgrade.
frying pan.
What
No,
item
to
of
a page.
kitchen equipment has Lucas Jones got on him nowadays?
An eye.
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, he's got like a really big spatula.
A woman glowering at him. The quintessential kitchen accessory.
Because he's doing everything wrong.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
You're doing
when you're
everything
getting
wrong.
your leather back together.
So what new horrors will Lucas pull down upon the bunker next? That's the question.
We need
Yes.
events to happen.
He's a troubleshooter, which is very ironic.
Yeah.
He's had so much
I shoot
practice.
trouble everywhere.
Like metagaming, because I don't understand wireless networks. But I'm thinking you just connected a wireless network of our enemies to our wired network.
Oh no, that was totally a hack by the eye. It's sentient. I figured it was totally sentient from the beginning.
You're just lucky we don't know about wireless networks.
I mean, Jones doesn't, so that's why he connected the eye.
Oh my god. The Arcadians have wide
Why, oh, why, oh, why?
Aye.
If we make a small pass, can we pull out a compact?
eye. Yes.
Sky pulls out a compacts. Okay,
It has a
do you
mirror.
want to know something funny that your characters will probably find out next week anyway?
If we do make a compact pack, it's going to be called PP. Personal packs.
Yeah, it is funny because you haven't played the Fallout series.
Yeah, I've never played them in my life.
So you're there making like, no, on your wrist! It's like, huh?
Unrelated, I swear.
Why would it be on your wrist?
To backhand people and play
But they
video
don't
games.
break.
And you can play like little retro video games.
But, yeah, so do you want to know something that you might otherwise find out next week, but it's funny as to find out now?
If it's funny to find out now, let's go with it.
So, in those Acadian backpacks was all the components from that tower.
No,
God damn it!
They're efficient little buggers.
They're time travelers.
They knew.
It's actually they were you guys.
Yes.
That's
We become the Arcadians.
I
Skye's
mean,
worst nightmare. Skye's worst nightmare. Being forced to become an Arcadian, like the...
I think it's by choice.
No, it's like the Cybermen when they like force upgrade you.
I did my duty to the end.
Alright, let's see, we've got some more viewers now, so if anyone's got questions, feel free to ask.
As I've sort of briefly showed, made a map. I will try to work out how to do the link in a way that isn't 4 pages long. But
Just do
yeah,
like a tiny URL.
yeah.
That's the tiniest of URLs.
It is, because it's just tiny.url slash
I
like
wish
a
they
few
called them
digits.
eeny meeny URLs, because that'd be way cool to say.
But it's so
Check
much
out my eeny
longer.
meeny URL.
It's so much longer.
But it's a little. Basically, it's a Google Maps overlay of Adelaide with what these guys have scouted out.
Oh, Josh loves my top. It's actually a dress. But it's also a top. It's also actually a top. It's like a top that you can use in multiple ways.
Someone says the top of a dress.
It is a
Is that
top
like
dress.
Marge Simpson's dresses?
Sure.
In The Simpsons, yeah.
But like I can wear it in like multiple ways. It's actually supposed to be like a cowl top. I got it off of Wish because I wanted to
Cow top.
like a cowl, like a hood.
Oh, okay.
It's like
That's the top for a cow.
Cowliponics.
Cowabunga.
But yeah, I actually bought it because I was going to use it as a pattern to make Morrigan's hood from Dragon Age Origins. And I wanted something that I could use to like base the idea off of. Because it's actually like almost perfect for the base pattern.
Yeah.
I just have to alter it slightly. Which is why I actually bought it. I'm just like, it looks like it'll be comfortable.
So here's a question. If we made cowaponics, right, obviously that involves water. If we plugged it up and put a bung in it, would that be a cowabunga?
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, so,
I'm glad Servanty
aspirations.
came back. Thank you for coming back, Servanty. We love you.
Oh, so my phone just isn't working at all.
I mean,
Well, good.
I'm reading back through old chat,
Oh, okay.
which is why I was doing that. I hope that isn't Cody in the chat during game. Whoops. Yeah, so for context, our tech guy is currently off sick for Thursday. He just had mouth surgery, so he'll be back next week and it'll be fine.
And we've already discussed and don't really work out, he was performing surgery with his mouth, not the other way around. It would have been too weird.
Yeah, absolutely too weird.
He had to remove an arm
With his mouth.
and hand it into the armory. I'm surprised I got that one out first.
Well, he wouldn't make a pun joke, so I couldn't.
I'll break the leg if we keep cutting them apart.
That is what I like about having NPCs over PCs, is so many NPCs can just be absolutely ridiculous. And
Yes!
because they're not on screen that long.
Yes,
So
you
you
can
can
make
kind
them a caricature.
Yeah.
Whereas with a player character, you have to make them a proper character.
Oh, Dawn probably goes home and has
Cries
like...
herself to sleep.
Yeah, with like a bottle of booze.
Why doesn't anyone like me?
I just play the clown.
I just play the cool person that doesn't matter.
See, if I was gonna make puns, I would have been like, I totally should have seen that hat coming.
You should do them, but just in private. So when they're knocking the doors, I should have seen that coming.
But you have to put emphasis on the beginning. So I should have seen that coming.
I do like the way Lucas just takes the super dangerous stuff and it's like...
It's not super dangerous to me.
Well, it really
you
is
sure?
super dangerous to you.
Well, no, if they come attack this bunker, I'll leave and I'll just live in the next other bunker. I don't need you guys.
You mean the one that they famously attacked?
Yeah, well, they attack it again.
Quite
Oh, yeah.
It's just illogical.
Lightning never strikes twice.
Yeah.
It's struck out
Well, I don't know
23
what lightning
times.
is, so what do I care?
No, you've seen lightning.
But I don't know what it is.
Ah, that's a good point.
Oh,
Actually, sky bulbs.
Yeah.
just back on the kitchen utensils thing. If you have a spatula, you've swapped defense for offense. Because you got rid of the oven door. So if you swap the
That was
oven door,
all offense.
Maybe give them a whacking of a lifetime with a spatula.
it's like Le Chancler, but you keep it in your hand at all times.
I will not allow a frying pan though.
Aw.
That is way too OP.
I have a
What if I
frying
get my
pan.
weapons guys to develop it? A +5 frying pan.
I have a frying pan,
You have a-
drying pan, and that's all.
You have a wok.
Yes, which is my drying pan.
Yeah.
To keep the rain off.
You can have a colander.
That doesn't keep the rain off.
That's what makes it funny.
So if you were to like cook a banh mi in a wok, would it be called wok and woll?
Folks to cook a what in a wok?
A banh
I'll tell you
mi.
when you're older.
Thank you.
A banh
Am I older yet? Can you tell me?
Well,
A
we got
banh mi
this.
is like a Vietnamese salad roll.
Okay.
They're really good, but I can't eat bread anymore.
There's a quality pun, just enjoy it.
Okay. I thoroughly enjoyed that pun.
Please hear it.
Can we make Daryl
Appreciate
like
support.
a mutant from Mad Max, where he's just a little person and that's why he wears his suit?
Yes.
Just
Sure. No.
destroy their dreams.
Can he be like a brain slug from Futurama?
It's Daryl and Blaster.
Yeah.
2 men enter, 1 man with a hat.
We all know who's gonna win.
Uh,
The hatless never win.
my 5-minute design for the Dragon Fruit telecommunication tower. Oh,
Never got used.
Never got used.
Well, you didn't let us.
Yeah, we
There was
tried.
no way we were going in there.
We could have snuck in, I guess.
Oh, yeah, there's no one around for 2 hours,
Yeah.
so what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the enemy to turn up and talk to them. Well, the guy...
Yes! Absolutely! Who do you think we are? Murderers?
Yes, I...
That one
He
is!
told us not to
I'm
get
not.
ideas and he had a big laser weapon.
Yeah.
Self-preservation took priority.
Technically, it wasn't a laser weapon, it was an energy weapon. But I do... the combat's far deadlier in this system than, like, D&D. But then it's like... So it's good that you guys just aren't walking, trying to, like, go into too dangerous situations. But then on the other hand, it's like... Well, they didn't even try to stealth in.
Because if we did and they flanked us
Yeah.
Yeah, we die.
horribly
And look,
with a backpack full of parts.
we're basically mole rats that have barely ever been on the surface before in our entire lives. Being cautious makes sense.
It does, and it's good. I like it. It adds to the sense of danger.
Yeah, like we are terrified of the surface. Skye especially.
The fact you just left that Joel Fleming on the slavers, it's like, oh, I've been tracking you guys down. Fuck off. I like that.
It's not my problem anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
And I'm more worried about taking them and myself
Yeah.
than this guy.
For sure. Yeah. No, I thought it was a really interesting choice. Yeah.
Like you'll do better.
Another thing I was thinking about doing, but I figured that just all turn on me, was just like drawing my gun and shooting him.
They probably would not ask for his value. Probably with weapons, since how many you're carrying.
Yeah, but then they might have asked for the big one and we'd be fucked.
I'm like, take my value in this.
Yeah, so
Oh god, it would put the geck out of its misery.
Yeah, just put it straight to its head with that gun. That would have dropped it.
I mean,
I
yeah,
have to imagine.
I grabbed the stats from the rifle, big game.
That is
Yeah.
some
Big game rifles and other heavy weapons suffer from high recoil. If not properly braced and set to handle the recoil, the shooter takes 1 bashing damage and suffers the knockdown tilt.
Do you know what we should have done?
Which the knockdown takes, just be clear, to get up from knockdown or prone takes a round. Because rounds are 3 seconds, and then to reload it would be another round. So it's just, you're going bang, that's once every 3 rounds.
Yeah, Skye would like be on the back of the room just like, oh!
I'm just thinking we should have kept the gun so when we get to building tops and it's too far to jump, I can just like jump and shoot them in the air and get that extra
No!
It's right in the middle of the chest. Hold it, bang!
My science brain says that's a terrible idea.
Your science brain.
What does your action brain tell you?
That I want to do it.
Awesome.
Oh god.
I always trust my action brain over my science brain.
It's
Never led to anything bad.
it's like feminist brain versus lesbian brain.
Do they have to be?
Yeah, I know.
No,
My lesbian brain's always getting me down.
because like the principle is like feminist brain. Oh, this superheroic feminine hero is like got the bald head and the big muscles. This is just a stereotype that makes her pretend to be a man. Lesbian brain's like, I want it.
To be fair, I'm like that with, like, say, John Barrowman.
I think
To be
everyone
fair,
has
he's
to.
dead.
Yeah.
And he lets you touch his butt when you take photos with him.
He was in Adelaide, what, not too long ago?
Yeah, I think it
For Supernova.
was less than a year ago.
Apparently he came into my work.
Ah,
But before I was working there.
you had another celebrity
Yes,
come into the game.
I had
Are we allowed to talk about them?
I had Littlefinger come into work.
From Game of Thrones.
Peter Baelish himself.
Wait, he was
Was
a
it a
full costume?
look-alike?
No, he was going by whatever his real name is.
Peter, yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure it's
Was that Aidan Gillish?
yeah, Aiden Gillen.
Yeah. My boss was nerding out more than me, so I let him.
To work for the team.
Well, someone had to be the master of coin.
I just think it's great with John Barrowman though, how like you see these cons and you see like all these celebrities and like don't touch them here and don't try and kiss their cheek and don't touch their hair and John Barrowman's like, here you go, grab my ass.
Honestly, me as a celebrity. Just like where you want to touch.
Don't say that. Next time we actually go to something.
Look, there's a limit, but
Is there though?
I mean,
If there's a queue, there's a limit. You gotta keep the queue flying.
What if Daryl's at the front of the queue?
oh,
He's the
he
king.
can touch wherever he wants.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope we just get a random fan called Daryl.
We might already have one.
Only if they're in full cosplay.
Yes, and then they can touch wherever they want.
And remember, no corks on the hat.
No,
Corks on
never corks on the hat.
He's just going to get swarmed by those flies and that is his own stupid fault.
And he also has to come.
No, there's no flies on Daryl.
There's plenty of flies on Sam by the time he got back after stepping into that power armor.
But the hero cosplayer has to have a dog.
Yes.
Oh,
German Shepherd.
yes.
Or bust.
Not a busted German Shepherd, that'd be
Oh,
weird.
we'll be right. We'll go holding a bust.
Oh,
And
no,
you
that
have taxidermy
power would have been
qualification
so gross. Like, you would have been
Would
pulling
have been
out.
like sticky flesh.
You would have been pulling out chunks. Like, I think I got the spine. Like, and
At least you knew how to
Oh,
act.
it's a femur.
the stomach would have burst months ago.
Oh, and the acid would be everywhere, and it would have been bedded.
I'm just
Oh,
like-
they stabbed through the back of the suit and made an air hole for it to somewhat escape.
In the enclosed bunker.
Oh, we should have ventilated it.
That's next time's problem.
We're not turning this into an outpost until it's been ventilated. Because we can't. Oh no.
Probably fine.
So why did you leave the security doors open? Well,
Let me tell you a story.
For the spell. hell?
Have you ever opened a suit of power armor that's had a dead body in it for 3 months?
Have you ever had to pluck the eyeballs out individually?
No, the eyeballs are at least the eyeball corpse was fairly fresh, like a week or something.
I imagine the eyeballs would have been gone online, so I didn't have to pluck eyeballs out. Good for me.
Yeah, they would have already dissolved.
How lucky can one man get?
Well, it depends. You got dissolved body. You got hacking your body into pieces.
Well, the body was mostly hacked into
I
pieces.
didn't hack anything.
You hacked
Power
an arm
torch.
off!
I mean, that was blowtorch.
Yeah, I used a blowtorch.
You also
It's a
ripped
pres-
the eye out.
Yeah, but it came out pretty easy.
It was a blowtorch, it was being ripped. Yeah.
I am the only one who's not caused horrible, traumatizing, grievous bodily harm to something yet.
You
That
did it
you're
for
a-
yourself.
That you're aware of.